After arrest of car sevak, INDI leader now fearmongers with another Godhra possible remark. Lobby narrative completely crumbles as Supreme Court calls for probe into Hindenburg malafide. But despite verdict, Congress continues on Adani rant, says top court extraordinarily generous to SEBI. Congress hypocrisy on Adani stands exposed. Jairam slams Revanth Reddy welcomes delegation. Under lens for Liquorgate, Kejriwal skips summons for a third time, calls them illegal and invalid. In Thrissur, Prime Minister holds mega roadshow, hits out at left Congress in an unrelenting attack. The big takeaway from the verdict that was delivered by the Supreme Court earlier in the day, there would be no independent investigation. Supreme Court reaffirms its faith on the investigation that has been carried out by the SEBI. In fact, 3 months' time has been given to SEBI to complete its investigation. Not just that, the government of India as well as SEBI have now been instructed to essentially look into whether at all there has been malafide intention as far as Hindenburg is concerned. Remember, the report that was published back in January 2023 essentially resulted in massive losses on the part of Adani Group of companies. Thereafter, there was a growing clamour that they should be investigated. So much so, SEBI was instructed to look into the allegations, whether at all there was any fair price manipulation. Did the Adani Group of companies jack up their shares? All of this and much more was being investigated by SEBI. But thereafter, there was a campaign that was carried out by Western media outlets, and not just that, there were also third parties who were far more interested to basically bring down the Adani Group of companies. What thereafter happened was SEBI was given that specific instruction to look into all these allegations. So far, a preliminary report has already come, but large number of allegations have been looked into by SEBI, but at least there are 2 more matters which are yet to be completed, which the Supreme Court has now asked SEBI to complete within the next 3 months. But despite that, politics still continues on over this entire matter. So much so, today the Congress party went a step ahead, questioned the very fact that the Supreme Court perhaps has been extremely lenient as far as SEBI is concerned. Not just that, joining the bandwagon was also the left parties criticizing the very fact that it is now clear there would be no independent investigation. It would not be transferred to an SIT, but it would be SEBI that would be looking into all the allegations that have been leveled against the Adani Group of companies. The latest statement has been now put out by CPM. We'll be putting out details of the statement that has been put out, once again questioning the verdict of the Supreme Court. Pretty much what we have seen that a cabal has been doing all this while over the last 1 month, not only raising questions about the fact that with regards to questions about the operations of Adani Group of companies, but also their alleged political links. Joining us on this broadcast is our senior executive editor Abhishek Kapoor. Abhishek, today the Supreme Court has made it abundantly clear. The matter will be investigated by SEBI. Hindenburg's intentions would also be probed by SEBI as well as the government of India. It does appear that few political parties are extremely unhappy with the decision given out by the Supreme Court, and it does not really go down well because it does not fall in sync with what the political parties have been demanding.
Shravan, it's a case of hypocrisy, it's a case of double standard, it's a case of looking London, talking Tokyo, because it could not have been worse insofar as timing is concerned, because on the one hand, you have Jairam Ramesh panning what the Supreme Court has said today in the Adani-Hindenburg case, and then on the other, you have pictures coming out of Telangana, out of Hyderabad, where their Chief Minister Revanth Reddy happens to be meeting Karan Adani of the Adani Group and having a long meeting on projects that the Adani Group intends to have in the state. Obviously, because the Congress party is in power, these projects become development projects, and in other states, Adani becomes a scam. That's unfortunate. And also remember, when the CPM releases a statement, their own chief minister in Kerala, the only state where they are in power, has no problems whatsoever in Adani having a port project and for the chief minister to be getting pictured, photographed, videographed along with the leadership of the Adani Group at the inauguration of the port project. In fact, the CPM government there in Kerala has batted strongly in favor of the port project, going against the protests taking place on the ground. So obviously this is a case of double standards, hypocrisy. So also in the case of Bengal, with Mamata Banerjee having no problems whatsoever in meeting Gautam Adani and letting those projects in the state go on, in fact, is strengthened. So I think what we are seeing is the Congress party having different ideas when it comes to their own state government and a very different position when it comes to panning the center for its association, or for the BJP specifically, for its association with the Adani Group, whatever the Congress party means, because it is becoming clear that whenever Congress is in power, for example, the Congress was in power in Maharashtra and there was no problem whatsoever with Adani projects. So I think this is absolutely just a case of double standards being practiced by the Congress party, and unfortunately we have not seen the last of it.
Abhishek, just a quick question before I let you go. For all our viewers who are tuning in right now, to put this into perspective, how it all started. What were the allegations that were basically leveled against the Adani Group of companies about offshore accounts, about fair price manipulation, and why, from the preliminary report that was prepared by SEBI, it almost appeared that a clean sheet was given to Adani Group of companies. Could you help our viewers understand what is it that the SEBI has found out in its preliminary investigation?
All right, so just ahead of the budget last year, the Hindenburg came out with that report, and it made some elements, and those elements are very active in the Supreme Court, for example, and they got petitions in the Supreme Court that there was an element of truth in the Hindenburg report and that it should be investigated. Subsequently, the matter was given to SEBI, and with the Supreme Court monitoring, the Supreme Court Monitoring Committee got out with a report, and they said that this is the status, and subsequently the Supreme Court heard the batch of petitions. Today the order was delivered in which the Supreme Court said that they have very limited role to play in this, because this is a matter of subject experts, and SEBI happens to be the regulatory authority. They have, in fact, if you look at it, Shravan, today's order has given a clean sheet to SEBI more than Adani, and that the SEBI is doing a okay job, and it's not whatever they have done in terms of amendments on which the petitioners wanted focus on, which according to them helped Adani Group. That's not the case, and that the amendments brought in by the SEBI post 2018 actually strengthen the regulatory mechanism, is what the Supreme Court has said. And so also, very importantly, one of the observations made by the Supreme Court is that the government and the agencies need to look into whether this was part of a plan, because Hindenburg happens to be a short seller, and it's their business to create a situation where the stock prices of their target group falls, because that's how they make money, by short selling. So was there an element of conspiracy? Was there an element of manipulation at the level of Hindenburg and whosoever backs them? So I think we have not seen the end of it from the government side. Also, this observation itself opens a window from where investigation agencies can pick up the thread beyond what SEBI has done. While the SEBI will continue and give a final report in 3 months, even the agencies like CBI and ED can get in now and see whether there was somebody backing Hindenburg, and Hindenburg, whatever they did at the behest of those who wanted to harm the prospects of the country. So it's going to be interesting. It's not the end of it, and we are going to see possibly one of these agencies picking up threads from that observation made by the topmost court of the country.
Well, thank you very much, Abhishek, for putting this into perspective. Earlier in the day, I also spoke to senior lawyer Siddharth Luthra to try and understand what does the verdict really mean, especially for those who have been relying on newspaper articles and third-party regulators who are they've basically come to some sort of a conclusion even before a thorough investigation that was carried out. Something that the Supreme Court also spoke about. And also, let's not forget that what are the real intentions of Hindenburg, something that Abhishek was really talking about. Let's listen in to what senior lawyer Siddharth Luthra, with whom I spoke earlier in the day, what he had to say on this entire matter.
a PIL is meant to look at the public interest, and the interest of investors is definitely a public interest, and to that extent the Supreme Court, in my view, has passed an appropriate direction, as it ought to have done, because eventually when you look at these causes, in fact the petitioners also raised the very same cause to say that there is something amiss. Now, whether there was something, the fact is that nothing so far has been found amiss in 20 out of the 22 transactions. In 2, the investigation report is yet to come within 3 months as per the undertaking of the Solicitor General. And once in 20 there is an exoneration, then at least from that aspect it is important to see, were investors harmed? Was there something more behind it, or was it just a simple issue of market movement?
So with regards to the fact that reliance on third party and also newspaper articles, the court came down heavily on this entire matter. Despite that, you would have certain Western media outlets who have spoken about the fact that there is a conflict of interest that ought to be probed. How do you really look at the allegations that have been leveled so far?
I'm really clear that the judgment has spoken now, and the judgment says that the judgment has taken a view there is no conflict of interest, and I think that settles the issue. And therefore, irrespective of what people may say, today there is a judgment of the Supreme Court. Till it is, assuming it is sought to be reviewed, unless a different view is taken and reviewed, today it is the settled position, and it is not only an interpretation, it is a conclusive finding on the various issues that were raised, including conflict of interest.
Shifting focus now to the other story that we have been tracking over the last 24 hours. It does certainly appear to be extremely bizarre, ladies and gentlemen, if 31 years later a case is reopened. And some would say, at least within the Karnataka police, they've been saying that this is a regular procedure. But just think about this, 31 years later, an open warrant is executed by Karnataka police, and you have a car sevak who is arrested. It so turns out the same very person who's been taken into custody by Karnataka police happens to be an auto rickshaw driver, not even participating in any other event when it comes to any particular Hindu outfit, but placed under arrest, produced before the court today. My colleague Prajwal spoke to the family members as well as the lawyer to understand whether at all any such warning was actually given by the Karnataka police, as the Karnataka police have been saying that he was actually absconding for the last several years after that case was registered almost 31 years ago and 28 years after an open warrant was issued against the person. Listening to what the family members had to tell my colleague Prajwal.
आके बोल दिया थोड़ा पॉलिटिशियन के आ जाओ, कोर्ट का तुम्हारा केस है बोल दिया। मेरे को कोर्ट का सामने से और क्या तो केस रहे तो दे दो, मैं जाके हाजिर होऊंगा। बोल दिया नहीं, वो देने के लिए नहीं आता, तुमको पॉलिटिशियन से लेके जाने का है बोल दिया। बोलने में मैं नहीं आऊँगा, वैसा नहीं आऊँगा बोल दिया। बोलने में नहीं, तुम्हारे को लेके जाए, अरेस्ट कर को लेके जाएंगे। बोलने में देखो कैसा लेके जाते लेके जाओ, मैं तो नहीं आऊँगा बोल दिया। बाद में मैं वो घर में नहीं था, मेरे को फ़ोन पे ये करे कॉन्टेक्ट किए, हो तुम नहीं आए तो तुमको घसट के लेके जाएंगे, वैसा लेके। मैं क्या बोले तो मैं नहीं आऊँगा, लेकिन मेरे को बीपी शुगर और मेरे का ये आँख के दोनों ऑपरेशन हो गए। मेरे को थोड़ा आँखें थोड़ा डिम लगता, उस वैसा रहे तो भी मैं उसको भी बोल रहा हूँ उनको ऐसा हुआ है मेरे को। बोले तो वो क्या भी नहीं, तुम्हारे को आर्डर आया, तुमको लेके जाने के बताने वाले हम नहीं आएंगे। बोलने मेरे घर पे दो चार बार आइए, आके पूछ को हमारे घर में लेडीज लोगों को थोड़ा टॉर्चर करके गए हो।
टॉर्चर किया?
हाँ नहीं थोड़ा, लेकिन नहीं वो भेजे तो तुम्हारे देखो तुम्हारे घर पूरा लोगों को लेके जा बताता और तुम्हारे बच्चे को भी लेके जा बताता। बोले ऐसा बोल दे, बताओ देखेंगे करूँ। इतना बोलने में कोई भी, और बाद में नहीं। अब इसको श्रीकांत पुजारी लेके गए तब से मेरे को आया नहीं।
ओके, आपको कोर्ट ने कुछ समन्स भेजा है या पुलिस ने कुछ नोटिस भेजा है?
कुछ भी नहीं, नोटिस नहीं, समन्स ने कहा डायरेक्ट ले गए। मैं 6 महीना टाटा के जेल में था 92 में। 6 महीने के बाद अब बाहर में पूरा वो ये रिलीज करके आया मैं। आने के बाद अभी ये पहली बार मेरे को ये बोलने वाले पुलिस लोग, ऐसा हो रहा है।
भाजपा ने बोल रहा है ये सरकार एंटी हिंदू है, ये गवर्नमेंट एंटी हिंदू है। आपका हिसाब से ये गवर्नमेंट क्या है?
ये गवर्नमेंट तो देखो, ये पीछे वो यूरोप में भी था कांग्रेस में, उस टाइम से ये पहले हल्केगिरी वो चल गया, चालू चाहिए, ये क्या बंद नहीं हुआ। और अभी ये सिद्धरामैया है, ये सिद्धरामैया भी ऐसे चालू किया है, ऐसा चालू किया है। कांग्रेस लोग जो है पीछे हमारी को क्या है वो हम करने वाले, ऐसा इनका झगड़े में हमको कुछ नरम कर दे तो मैं क्या करूं बोलो। अभी 6 महीने 70 के 7 साल मेरे को अभी 31 एज होने के बाद भी ये आपको मेरे को ऐसा टॉर्चर करते बोले तो हम किधर जाएंगे, किधर करना बोलो।
आपका हिसाब से ये पॉलिटिकली मोटिवेटेड है?
ये पॉलिटिकल है, पॉलिटिकल और कुछ भी नहीं है। ये सिद्धरामैया का ये कुतंत्र है और कुछ नहीं। कांग्रेस लोगों का ये थोड़ा कुतंत्र है। ऐसा लेके जाके अभी राम मंदिर बन रहा है, थोड़ा ये कार सेवक राम सेवक लोगों को लोग जो बटाए तो उधर क्या तो थोड़ा ये होता करके धांधल उठाने का एक काम चालू किया है वो।
10:30 9 बजे 4 पुलिस आए थे। 4 पुलिस आए थे, आके पूछा हमें, पूछे सर हम अब्बा पूछे ये आ कांतेश करके स्टेशन गए गया कर को कुछ क्या हुआ कर को बोले नहीं कुछ भी नहीं आ कांतेश स्टेशन को गए करके नहीं मैं दो कुछ ये 2 हाथ को ऑपरेशन हो हमको क्या यहाँ करके बोलो करके बोले नहीं कुछ नहीं आओ स्टेशन अभी ट्यूशन को है मैं नहीं उनको वहाँ भी बोला मैं 2 हाथ में ऑपरेशन हो उनको तो सुने नहीं यहाँ नहीं कुछ भी नहीं होता चल कोर्ट को गएंगे। कोर्ट को गए तो भी शाम तक सहेंगी करे तो जामीन दिए तो भी नहीं होता, आज नहीं होता कल होता करके बोले थे। बाद में 10
कोर्ट आपने कोर्ट को अप्रोच किया बेल के लिए?
हाँ करे थे सर, आज सुबह तक 1 बजे तक टाइम है सर।
1 बजे तक टाइम है। आपका लॉयर का साथ भी बात किया संजीव भड़स्कर ने, वो बोला 10:30 पे हम मूव कर रहा है बेल के लिए। पर आपको गवर्नमेंट का साथ क्या मांग है? व्हाट डू यू डिमांड फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ कर्नाटका?
मैं तो कुछ ये नहीं के बोलता, उनका किसके पास भी विरोध नहीं है। हमारा क्या है, हमको मेरे फादर को छोड़े तो बस, अभी कुछ भी मैं बोल रहा नहीं है। मैं विरोध ये पक्ष है वो पक्ष है कुछ भी बोल रहा नहीं मैं। क्या है हमने करे सो गलती हुआ तभी हो रहा था, हमें अभी पता हुआ नहीं था तभी का ये केस है। अभी तभी तो केस सॉल्व करे थे हमें, अभी रीओपन करके बटे ऑटोमेटिक रीओपन करके बटे।
माँ जी आप क्या बोलना चाहता है? माँ जी
नहीं, हम पति को छोड़े तो अच्छा होता जी।
अब पति को
छोड़ना भी हमको आराम नहीं, ऑपरेशन हुआ हमको छोड़े।
क्या ऑपरेशन हुआ?
दोनों हाथों ऑपरेशन हुआ जी। वो छोड़े तो अच्छा होता अभी क्या को जो।
आपको कुछ पॉलिटिकल से मतलब नहीं है?
नहीं क्या भी नहीं,
कुछ भी मतलब नहीं है।
Joining us from Hubballi right now, getting us that ground report is my colleague Prajwal. Prajwal, you've spent a considerable amount of time to get both sides of the story. You've reached out to Hubballi police. Whether at all there has been a different statement than what they had put out yesterday, saying that this is a regular procedure. In fact, I'm given to understand you have the head of the state, the chief minister, basically defending this arrest that has actually taken place. For the benefit of our viewers, Prajwal, take us through both sides. What is it that the police have to say, and the family members we've already heard. So what's the truth behind this case?
You know, Shravan, after listening to both the sides as well, yes, there has been considerable amount of vandalism as well as damage which was reported in the 1992 Hubballi riots as well. But also, according to the FIR that was filed initially, the name of Shrikant Pujari in itself is missing. And this is what Republic's investigation is going ahead and revealing, because we also accessed the FIR from 1992, the charge sheet from 1993 as well. Because in the 1992 FIR, what is very surprising is the fact that from the accused number 1 to accused number 9, who has been named in the FIR, there is no name of Shrikant Pujari there. And later, they have also added 4 other names in the charge sheet, which was filed in 1993, 7 months later on. And there, there is the name of the accused Shrikant Pujari, along with 3 other names as well. But out of these 13 people now, Shravan, 4 people are already dead, meaning to state that there are only 9 people who are alive. And out of these 9 people, 3 people are on their deathbed as well. And we also spoke to Ramchandra Kalburgi as well. And he stated that my family is being threatened. They threatened to drag my children out, drag me to the police station as well. But this is not what I want to. And on the other side, I also went ahead and spoke to Renuka Sukumar, the Commissioner of Police for Hubballi, Dharwad. And it seems like there has been a type template for the police over here. And they are still parroting the way, stating that this was a routine check. And there have been already long pending cases too. And this was something which was bound to happen as well. But when we questioned whether wonder why did they go ahead and act after 28 years on the open warrant which was issued. The only response that we could get was that due protocols are being followed and you need not question that. So this was the only reply that we have got from the Hubballi Dharwad Commissioner. And despite persisting on the fact whether it was politically motivated or not, he stated that this was done at the instructions of the Home Department. So who does the Home Department fall under in the state of Karnataka? It does fall under the Congress government over here. And Siddaramaiah now and again, who is the Chief Minister of Karnataka, has been stating that the guilty will be punished no matter what.
Well, in fact, Prachul, I'll just request you to stay on with us as we are getting in some more breaking news. In fact, Chief Minister of Karnataka and also the Home Minister essentially defending this entire arrest that has been made by the Karnataka police. I'm just putting out the tweet that has been posted just a short while back, and this is what the Chief Minister of Karnataka says. Shrikant Pujari, who flaunts himself as a devotee of Rama and a car sevak in front of the public, is in fact a social miscreant in the eyes of the law. He is someone who uses religion as a shield to protect his criminal activities. If such individuals are not arrested and are allowed to roam freely, even Lord Ram cannot forgive this. In fact, he goes on, there's a long tweet that's been put out. We'll give you all the latest details. But he says that the law has been enforced and it has been done so in the interest of public. A quick response, 30 seconds response from you, Prajwal. The Chief Minister has completely defended the action of Karnataka police. If he is actually a social miscreant, what really stopped Siddaramaiah, who was also the Chief Minister for a brief period in the previous term, why did he not take any action when they were in power at that point in time?
Absolutely right, Shravan, because you have hit the nail on the head there. Because between 2013 to 2018, for a full period of 5 years, it was in fact Siddaramaiah who was the Chief Minister as well. And we also did go ahead and question about the criminal antecedents of Shrikant Pujari. Yes, no doubt there has been 16 petty cases which has been registered across various police stations in Hubballi, which also involves in the manufacture of illegal spirit as well. But apart from that, there has been no follow-up to those cases, and majority of them have already been shut down. And in Hubballi in itself, there are over 1,000 long pending cases, out of which till date only 37 have been solved. 37 of the recent arrests which was made recently in many of the cases, which also includes the case of the car sevak too. So definitely some double standards that is being displayed out there by the Congress government, but Siddaramaiah brazenly continues to defend it.
Well, thank you very much, Prajwal, for getting us that ground report from Hubballi. He's spoken to Shrikant Pujari's family members who have once again hit out at the government, saying that this is nothing but a political vendetta. And as far as the government goes, a short while back, Chief Minister of Karnataka, Siddaramaiah, defended the action of his police, saying that law has taken its own course. A story that we have been tracking very closely. Shifting focus to another big breaking news now coming in. We're getting in details of the case that has been registered by the National Investigation Agency, the Karni Sena murder case. In fact, we're going to just get you the details and also the picture of the recoveries that have made. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier in the day, searches were carried out by the National Investigation Agency. We'll go full frame with the recovery pictures that have been accessed by Republic TV. These are details now coming in with regards to the investigation that has been carried out, where 31 locations where the searches were carried out. On your screens right now, in a short while from now, these were the pictures, arms and ammunitions that have been recovered from accused Ashok Kumar's residence during the search that was carried out by the National Investigation Agency. 31 locations in Haryana and Rajasthan where the raids were carried out. Arrests and another suspect in Karni Sena chief murder case. As per the investigation, NIA today carried out searches at 31 locations, which includes the houses of the accused persons and several suspects in Rajasthan and neighbouring state of Haryana. In fact, a key suspect, Ashok Kumar, was arrested from one of the locations following the recovery of several arms and ammunition from his premises in Jhunjhunu in Rajasthan. That's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. On the other side, news and updates continue.
हमारे देश को आजाद हुए 76 साल हो गए, लेकिन कई चीजों में हमको अभी आजादी नहीं मिली, जैसे कि सरकारी दफ्तरों में दुश्वारियां, परेशानियां, बदइंतजामियां। हमारे शहीदों को इस बात की कतई चिंता नहीं थी कि देश को आजादी मिलेगी या ना, लेकिन उनको एक बात की चिंता थी कि आजादी के बाद देश कौन से हाथों में जाएगा, देश के हालात क्या होंगे। हमने आजादी की जंग इसलिए लड़ी थी ताकि हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियों की जिंदगी आसान हो सके, ना कि इसलिए कि वो जगह जगह पर सरकारी दफ्तरों में धक्के खाएं, परेशानियों का सामना करना पड़े। अगर जंग सबने इकट्ठे होकर लड़ी थी आजादी की, तो फिर सुख सहूलतें भी सबको इकट्ठी मिलनी चाहिए। हम तो शहीदों के पांव की मिट्टी के एक धूल के तिनके के बराबर भी नहीं है, लेकिन ये बसंती रंग की पग शहीदों के सपनों और इरादों की हमें याद दिलाती रहती है कि हमारे देश में आम लोगों के सिर्फ दिन रात नहीं, हालात बदलने चाहिए। चुनाव के समय हम लोगों के पास जा सकते हैं, तो चुनाव के बाद सरकार बनती है, तो सरकार बनने के बाद भी सरकारों को जनता के पास जाना चाहिए, ना कि जनता सरकारी दफ्तरों में खज्जल खुआर हो। यही आजादी के असली मायने हैं। शहीद आजम सरदार भगत सिंह जी के सपनों को साकार करने के लिए पंजाब सरकार ने फैसला किया है कि पंजाब के लोगों को अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर नहीं लगाने पड़ेंगे, बल्कि सरकारी दफ्तर खुद चल के लोगों के घर पर आएंगे।
अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर काटने की जरूरत नहीं, बस डायल करें 1076 और सरकारी सुविधाएं अपने घर पर ही पाएं। पंजाब की भगवंत मान सरकार आपके द्वार।
मोदी सरकार की गारंटी, किसानों को हर साल रुपए 6,000, 11 करोड़ 80 लाख किसानों को अब तक 2,60,000 करोड़ रुपए की सहायता। हमारा संकल्प विकसित भारत।
केंट से पानी होता है 100% प्योर।
केंट आरओ प्योरिटी दिखाता भी है।
केंट देता है सबसे शुद्ध पानी।
फिल्म अनुकूल नीति, सिंगल विंडो सिस्टम, ऑनलाइन शूटिंग की अनुमति और सब्सिडी की सुविधा ने उत्तर प्रदेश को बनाया है देश का मोस्ट फिल्म फ्रेंडली स्टेट। 80 फिल्मों को सब्सिडी के तौर पर दिए गए हैं 44 करोड़ रुपए। विभिन्न स्थानों पर 450 से अधिक फिल्मों की हुई है शूटिंग। स्थानीय कलाकारों को मिला है अपना हुनर दिखाने का अवसर। माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी मानते हैं कि सकारात्मक फिल्में समाज को जागरूक बनाने का आधार हैं। इसी के अनुरूप माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी की पहल पर विश्व स्तरीय सुविधाओं से लैस इंटरनेशनल फिल्म सिटी की स्थापना की जा रही है। फिल्म स्टूडियो, होटल्स, मॉल्स, थीम पार्क, मिक्सिंग और रिकॉर्डिंग स्टूडियो जैसी सुविधाएं फिल्म उद्योग के माध्यम से आकर्षित करेंगी पूंजी निवेश। मोस्ट फिल्म फ्रेंडली स्टेट, नए भारत का नया उत्तर प्रदेश।
After arrest of car sevak, INDI leader now fearmongers with another Godhra possible remark. Lobby narrative completely crumbles as Supreme Court calls for probe in Hindenburg mala fide. But despite verdict, Congress continues on Adani rant, says top court extraordinarily generous to SEBI. Congress hypocrisy on display on the Adani stand. Jairam slams Revant Reddy welcomes delegation. Under lens for Liquorgate, Kejriwal scripts summon for a third time, calls them illegal and invalid. In Thrissur, Prime Minister holds mega road show, hits out at left Congress in an unrelenting attack. All right, welcome friends. Republic has accessed Supreme Court order copy in the Adani-Hindenburg case. In a big relief for the group, the Supreme Court has now said that there is no valid ground to direct SEBI and has further asked to complete the probe within the next 3 months. Listen to some of the legal reactions that have come in to the Supreme Court order.
A PIL is meant to look at the public interest, and the interest of investors is definitely a public interest, and to that extent the Supreme Court, in my view, has passed an appropriate direction, as it ought to have done, because eventually when you look at these causes, in fact the petitioners also raised the very same cause to say that there is something amiss. Now whether there was something, the fact is that nothing so far has been found amiss in 20 out of the 22 transactions. In 2, the investigation report is yet to come within 3 months as per the undertaking of the Solicitor General. And once in 20 there is an exoneration, then at least from that aspect it is important to see, were investors harmed? Was there something more behind it, or was it just a simple issue of market movement?
So with regards to the fact that reliance on third party and also newspaper articles, the court came down heavily on this entire matter. Despite that, you would have certain Western media outlets who have spoken about the fact that there is a conflict of interest that ought to be probed. How do you really look at the allegations that have been leveled so far?
I'm really clear that the judgment is spoken now, and the judgment says that judgment has taken a view there is no conflict of interest, and I think that settles the issue. And therefore, irrespective of what people may say, today there is a judgment of the Supreme Court. Till it is, assuming it is sought to be reviewed, unless a different view is taken and reviewed, today it is the settled position, and it is not only an interpretation, it is a conclusive finding on the various issues that were raised, including conflict of interest.
Well, I would say it's a complete exoneration of the Adani Group. The salient features of the judgment pronounced today are as follows. 1, that the court has trusted the SEBI investigation. The SEBI investigation is complete in 22 out of 24 instances. The remaining 2 will also be finished by SEBI within 3 months. The court has said that it trusts SEBI. It does not warrant any CBI or any other police investigation as demanded in the 4 writ petitions before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has also said that we will not pass any order directing framing of any new regulations as was demanded by the petitioners by SEBI. The Supreme Court has trusted SEBI to do whatever it has to do, and no other material was found to warrant any other investigation. And therefore the matter has ended, and the SEBI will complete, as I said, its 2 instance investigation within 2 months.
SIT बनाने की मांग हमारी याचिका में नहीं थी, अन्य किसी याचिका में होगी तो उससे हमारा कोई संबंध नहीं है। SIT अपने आप सेबी द्वारा बनाई गई थी और वो उस पर इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रही है। और हाल ही में सेबी की जो स्टेटस रिपोर्ट दी गई उसमें 22 इन्वेस्टिगेशंस कंप्लीट कर ली गई हैं, 2 आर पेंडिंग। तो 2 पर भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने 3 महीने का टाइम दिया है कि इनको कंप्लीट करें। तो सेबी द्वारा ऑलरेडी SIT की गई है और वो अपनी इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रही है, उसमें हस्तक्षेप का कोई अभी जो है ग्राउंड नहीं बनता।
Let's have a look at what's happening in other stories around the country. In an under-construction building collapse in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, UP police is present at the spot for survey of the area. More details are awaited. Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is going to hold a meeting along with his deputy T.K. Shivkumar tomorrow. The meeting is going to be held on upcoming parliamentary elections preparations for the Congress party in Karnataka. Anganwadi workers staged a protest in Andhra Pradesh's Vijayawada demanding urgent resolution to their grievances. The protesters were detained by police. The President of All India Majlis-e-Ittehadul Muslimin Asaduddin Owaisi has labelled the Citizenship Amendment Act as anti-constitutional by saying that the law has been made on the basis of religion. A massive fire broke out in Ludhiana after an oil tanker met with an accident. The oil tanker hit a divider and overturned, causing fire on the highway. Union Minister Dr. Jiten Singh announced that Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar would going to be the chief guest at the Startup Expo at Industrial Biotech Park in Katwa, Jammu and Kashmir tomorrow. The event also saw the minister revealed that the Gaganyaan test flights for sending humans to space are reaching their final stage this year. All right, as a build-up to the upcoming Lok Sabha elections to be held in April-May this year, the BJP National President JP Nadda is paying a one-day visit to Jammu on January 7. Here is a report. Listen in.
As political activities heat up in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, post decision of Supreme Court directing the Election Commission to hold the assembly polls, BJP Chief JP Nadda will be arriving on a one-day visit to Jammu, wherein he will be holding the core group meeting on 7th of January. This meeting is crucial, keeping in view the upcoming Lok Sabha polls as well as the assembly polls that will be held before September 2024, and the party leaders will also meet JP Nadda separately during his one-day visit on Sunday. Senior BJP leader and former Deputy Chief Minister Arvind Gupta said that the Bharatiya Janata Party aims to be the single largest party in the Lok Sabha as well as the assembly polls that are slated to take place, and for the same the strategy will be devised, and also an on-ground campaign will be launched by the Bharatiya Janata Party ahead of the Lok Sabha polls. With Sarjeevan Kumar, Gursimran Singh for Republic Media Network.
All right, we take a short break on that note. On the other side, under lens for liquor gate, Kejriwal script summons for a third time, calls them illegal and invalid. In Thrissur, Prime Minister holds mega roadshow, hits out at the left Congress in an unrelenting attack.
QS&THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
हमारे देश को आजाद हुए 76 साल हो गए, लेकिन कई चीजों में हमको अभी आजादी नहीं मिली, जैसे कि सरकारी दफ्तरों में दुश्वारियां, परेशानियां, बदइंतजामियां। हमारे शहीदों को इस बात की कतई चिंता नहीं थी कि देश को आजादी मिलेगी या ना, लेकिन उनको एक बात की चिंता थी कि आजादी के बाद देश कौन से हाथों में जाएगा, देश के हालात क्या होंगे। हमने आजादी की जंग इसलिए लड़ी थी ताकि हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियों की जिंदगी आसान हो सके, ना कि इसलिए कि वो जगह जगह पर सरकारी दफ्तरों में धक्के खाएं, परेशानियों का सामना करना पड़े। अगर जंग सबने इकट्ठे होकर लड़ी थी आजादी की, तो फिर सुख सहूलतें भी सबको इकट्ठी मिलनी चाहिए। हम तो शहीदों के पांव की मिट्टी के एक धूल के तिनके के बराबर भी नहीं है, लेकिन ये बसंती रंग की पग शहीदों के सपनों और इरादों की हमें याद दिलाती रहती है कि हमारे देश में आम लोगों के सिर्फ दिन रात नहीं, हालात बदलने चाहिए। चुनाव के समय हम लोगों के पास जा सकते हैं, तो चुनाव के बाद सरकार बनती है, तो सरकार बनने के बाद भी सरकारों को जनता के पास जाना चाहिए, ना कि जनता सरकारी दफ्तरों में खज्जल खुआर हो। यही आजादी के असली मायने हैं। शहीद आजम सरदार भगत सिंह जी के सपनों को साकार करने के लिए पंजाब सरकार ने फैसला किया है कि पंजाब के लोगों को अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर नहीं लगाने पड़ेंगे, बल्कि सरकारी दफ्तर खुद चल के लोगों के घर पर आएंगे।
अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर काटने की जरूरत नहीं, बस डायल करें 1076 और सरकारी सुविधाएं अपने घर पर ही पाएं। पंजाब की भगवंत मान सरकार आपके द्वार।
Surprise. Keep it wild. The new Sonnet.
Kia, movement that inspires.
भाई इतनी बड़ी टाइल,
इतनी बड़ी बड़ी हिट्स आप लोगों ने मुझे दी हैं। टाइल्स तो बड़े होने चाहिए। सुमानी मैक्स टाइल्स, टाइलों का सबसे बड़ा भाई। सुमानी मैक्स टाइल्स, जमीन से जुड़े।
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
मोदी सरकार की गारंटी, हर गरीब का मुफ्त इलाज। 55 करोड़ लोगों को दी हर साल 5 लाख रुपए तक के मुफ्त इलाज की निश्चिंतता। हमारा संकल्प विकसित भारत।
We are reporting from Jantar Mandir, and behind me are the wrestlers who have arrived here at Jantar Mandir and stating that the WFI body should be revoked by the sports ministry, and they are stating clearly that the future of the under 15 wrestlers is right now unknown because of the politics which is being done by the Olympians Sakshi Malik, Vinesh Fogart and Bajrang Punia. And right now behind me the banner, poster and the placards which these wrestlers are holding could clearly be seen as they are marching towards Jantar Mandir, which is the protest site, and continuously and if you see the banner, poster and the placards, they are clearly stating that this is because of Sakshi Malik, Bajrang Punia and Vinesh Fogart that the under 15 trials could not be conducted, and right now they are marching slowly towards Jantar Mandir and raising their demand that the suspended WFI President Sanjay Singh suspension should also be revoked. We'll directly speak to the wrestlers only. Wrestlers are clearly stating that games are not being held, and under the IOA committee, it's still not known that the district and the state level tournaments will be conducted or not, and therefore the march is done here by the wrestlers. आप लोगों के साथ लगभग आज कितने पहलवान हैं जो यहाँ जंतर मंतर पहुंचे हैं और आखिरकार डिमांड कहाँ तक लेके?
कई हजार पहलवान हैं मैडम यहाँ पे, कई हजार पहलवान आ लिए। पश्चिम उत्तर प्रदेश से पूरा पश्चिम उत्तर प्रदेश के सभी पहलवान आ लिए।
तो यहाँ पे आज जो सस्पेंडेड WFI प्रेसिडेंट संजय सिंह वो भी यहाँ पहुँचने वाले हैं?
जी, वे भी पहुँचने वाले यहाँ पे।
तो आप सब लोग जो आए हैं वो आप लोग की मांग अंडर 15 को लेकर के है या फिर साक्षी मलिक, बजरंग पुनिया के खिलाफ है? आप लोग की मांग क्या है?
हमारी तो ये मांग है कि हमारे बच्चों का नेशनल कंपटीशन होता रहना चाहिए। कोई भी अध्यक्ष हो इसमें, अपने बच्चों के भविष्य के लिए आ रहे हैं हम तो सभी यहाँ पे, उनके नेशनल होने चाहिए। अंडर 15 का, अंडर 12 का, कोई भी हो, अंडर 17 का।
All right, another short break on the other side. Congress hypocrisy on Adani stands exposed. Shairam slams. Revant Reddy welcomes delegation.
मोदी सरकार की गारंटी, कोई नहीं रहेगा भूखा। हर महीने 80 करोड़ लोगों को मिल रहा है मुफ्त राशन। हमारा संकल्प विकसित भारत।
आपने सोमानी का नया रोल देखा? वही स्टाइल और रेंज सोमानी बाथवेयर में भी। सोमानी बाथवेयर।
गाड़ी लेने से पहले टाटा एस गोल्ड पेट्रोल CX का दिल, यानी इसका इंजन देखा, ये इतना बढ़िया है कि 18 किलोमीटर प्रति लीटर तक का माइलेज तो हंसते हंसते दे जाएगा। अब तेल के दाम तो बराबर ही हैं, पर इस गाड़ी की कीमत है कम, इसलिए अब हर ट्रिप में खर्चा है कम और मुनाफा ज्यादा। तो अब सोचो समझो और टाटा एस गोल्ड पेट्रोल CX में।
Whenever I had ice cream or cold water, I would experience a sharp shooting sensation. So I just kept ignoring it. Even my hot chai was giving me the same amount of discomfort. My dentist recommended Sensodyne. So now I can be completely carefree and sip my hot cup of tea. It really works.
हमारे देश को आजाद हुए 76 साल हो गए, लेकिन कई चीजों में हमको अभी आजादी नहीं मिली। जैसे कि सरकारी दफ्तरों में दुश्वारियां, परेशानियां, बदइंतजामियां। हमारे शहीदों को इस बात की कतई चिंता नहीं थी कि देश को आजादी मिलेगी या ना, लेकिन उनको एक बात की चिंता थी कि आजादी के बाद देश कौन से हाथों में जाएगा, देश के हालात क्या होंगे। हमने आजादी की जंग इसलिए लड़ी थी ताकि हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियों की जिंदगी आसान हो सके, ना कि इसलिए कि वो जगह जगह पर सरकारी दफ्तरों में धक्के खाएं, परेशानियों का सामना करना पड़े। अगर जंग सबने इकट्ठे होकर लड़ी थी आजादी की, तो फिर सुख सहूलतें भी सबको इकट्ठी मिलनी चाहिए। हम तो शहीदों के पांव की मिट्टी के एक धूल के तिनके के बराबर भी नहीं है, लेकिन ये बसंती रंग की पग शहीदों के सपनों और इरादों की हमें याद दिलाती रहती है कि हमारे देश में आम लोगों के सिर्फ दिन रात नहीं, हालात बदलने चाहिए। चुनाव के समय हम लोगों के पास जा सकते हैं, तो चुनाव के बाद सरकार बनती है, तो सरकार बनने के बाद भी सरकारों को जनता के पास जाना चाहिए, ना कि जनता सरकारी दफ्तरों में खज्जल खुआर हो। यही आजादी के असली मायने हैं। शहीद आजम सरदार भगत सिंह जी के सपनों को साकार करने के लिए पंजाब सरकार ने फैसला किया है कि पंजाब के लोगों को अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर नहीं लगाने पड़ेंगे, बल्कि सरकारी दफ्तर खुद चल के लोगों के घर पर आएंगे।
अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर काटने की जरूरत नहीं, बस डायल करें 1076 और सरकारी सुविधाएं अपने घर पर ही पाएं। पंजाब की भगवंत मान सरकार आपके द्वार।
Severe destruction hit Ishikawa Prefecture in Japan following powerful earthquake causing extensive home damage and burying roads and landslides. As per the reports, over tens of thousands of homes have been destroyed in the incident. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida of Japan highlighted the nation's critical situation, stressing the urgency of the ongoing search for victims in the aftermath of the devastating earthquake. He said that the country is at a critical moment and rescue of disaster victims is a race against time. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese extended support to Japan after a fatal earthquake and plane crash. Multiple powerful quakes in western Japan claimed 57 lives and caused widespread damage to numerous structures, vehicles and vessels. All right, another short break. On the other side, we come back with Kejriwal skipping summons for the third time, calling them illegal and invalid.
QS&T achieved. The world's foremost university rankings organizations have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
जहाँ यादगार होता है हर एक किस्सा। इको रिट्रीट ओडिशा।
कैंट से पानी होता है 100% प्योर।
कैंट आरओ प्योरिटी दिखाता भी है।
कैंट देता है सबसे शुद्ध पानी।
भाई इतनी बड़ी टाइल,
इतनी बड़ी बड़ी हिट्स आप लोगों ने मुझे दी हैं। टाइल्स तो बड़े होने चाहिए। सुमानी मैक्स टाइल्स, टाइलों का सबसे बड़ा भाई। सुमानी मैक्स टाइल्स, जमीन से जुड़े।
आंध्रा की वर्मा फैमिली को गरम भाजी पसंद है। आगरा की वर्मा फैमिली को धर्म भाजी पसंद है। फैमिलीज जितनी भी सेम लगे, होती अलग है। इसलिए नया वी-मैक्स पोस्टपेड जो दे हर फैमिली को उनकी पसंद की चॉइसेस, जैसे इजी डाइनर, डिज्नी प्लस हॉटस्टार एंड मोर। वी-मैक्स पोस्टपेड, चूज व्हाट यू वांट टू यूज।
Keep it wild, the new Sonnet.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Whenever I had ice cream or cold water, I would experience a sharp shooting sensation. So I just kept ignoring it. Even my hot chai was giving me the same amount of discomfort. My dentist recommended Sensodyne. So now I can be completely carefree and sip my hot cup of tea. It really works.
पीएम किसान सम्मान निधि के माध्यम से
किसानों की छोटी छोटी जरूरतों को पूरा कर रहे हैं। इन खर्चों के लिए अब उन्हें किसी दूसरे के सामने हाथ नहीं फैलाना पड़ता।
यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री के विजन से प्रधानमंत्री किसान सम्मान निधि योजना लाई है उत्तर प्रदेश के करोड़ों अन्नदाताओं के चेहरे पर मुस्कान। माननीय मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ के नेतृत्व में 2,63,00,000 किसानों को मिला है स्वाभिमान से जीने का अधिकार। किसानों के बैंक खातों में भेजे गए हैं 64,694 करोड़ रुपए। इस योजना के तहत सभी किसानों को प्रतिवर्ष उपलब्ध कराई जाती है 6,000 रुपए की आर्थिक सहायता। अब किसान भाइयों को कृषि कार्यों के लिए किस्मत के भरोसे नहीं रहना होगा। अन्नदाताओं का सम्मान, नए उत्तर प्रदेश की पहचान।
By congratulating the districts, the states, the missions and posts, जो आज के जो अवार्डीज जो हैं, मैं सबको बधाई देता हूँ, सबकी प्रशंसा करता हूँ। G20 was a way of getting India ready for the world and world ready for India. ODOP was one part of it. Another related aspect was that when people came during G20 and saw the culture, उन्होंने अलग जगह देखी, they saw our arts, craft, monuments, but finally they took back ODOP. Now, it has actually had a very strong impact on tourism. So I expect ODOP to actually translate into stronger tourism in the years to come. And आप सब जानते हैं कि tourism, nothing is a more powerful driver of employment tourism, because tourism से बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं। लोग आते हैं, एयरपोर्ट में आते हैं, टैक्सियों में जाते हैं, होटल में रुकते हैं। There are hundreds of ways by which tourism impacts a country, and again, ODOP can, is, and should become a more powerful driver of tourism. अब मैंने कहा कि ODOP जो है एक किस्म से हमारी विविधता का एक प्रकट है, पर हमारे विरासत का भी है। और इसीलिए जो हमारी इनिशिएटिव जो थी, द विश्वकर्मा इनिशिएटिव, with many of us associated ourselves, the Vishwakarma initiative is meant to keep the ODOP, the foundation of the ODOP, strong. That by keeping alive, because Vishwakarma initiative provides employment, but it keeps alive traditions, it keeps alive skills. It is an appreciation of us, of our own past, and most important, it is central to our identity.
There's a way to open up a world of opportunities with the most reputed companies of the world. The way 98% of our students secured placement last year, with top rankings and coveted accreditation to show for them. The MBA programs at the Amrita School of Business. Admissions have opened. Apply now. मोदी सरकार की गारंटी, सस्ती दवाई, अच्छी दवाई, कम से कम 75% डिस्काउंट। अब तक जरूरतमंदों के 23,000 करोड़ रुपए बचे। हमारा संकल्प विकसित भारत।
आपने सोमानी का नया रोल देखा? वही स्टाइल और रेंज सोमानी बाथवेयर में भी। सोमानी बाथवेयर
3 से 4 व्हीलर में अपग्रेड तो करना है, पर इसमें से क्या खास बात है?
इसमें एक खासियत हो तो बताएं। टाटा इस गोल्ड पेट्रोल CX में है दमदार इंजन जो दे बढ़िया पिकअप, बड़ी और स्ट्रॉन्ग लोड बॉडी, और मेंटेनेंस एकदम कम। तो अब सोचो, समझो और टाटा इस गोल्ड पेट्रोल CX लो।
हमारे देश को आजाद हुए 76 साल हो गए, लेकिन कई चीजों में हमको अभी आजादी नहीं मिली। जैसे कि सरकारी दफ्तरों में दुश्वारियां, परेशानियां, बदइंतजामियां। हमारे शहीदों को इस बात की कतई चिंता नहीं थी कि देश को आजादी मिलेगी या ना, लेकिन उनको एक बात की चिंता थी कि आजादी के बाद देश कौन से हाथों में जाएगा, देश के हालात क्या होंगे। हमने आजादी की जंग इसलिए लड़ी थी ताकि हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियों की जिंदगी आसान हो सके, ना कि इसलिए कि वो जगह जगह पर सरकारी दफ्तरों में धक्के खाएं, परेशानियों का सामना करना पड़े। अगर जंग सबने इकट्ठे होकर लड़ी थी आजादी की, तो फिर सुख सहूलतें भी सबको इकट्ठी मिलनी चाहिए। हम तो शहीदों के पांव की मिट्टी के एक धूल के तिनके के बराबर भी नहीं है, लेकिन ये बसंती रंग की पग शहीदों के सपनों और इरादों की हमें याद दिलाती रहती है कि हमारे देश में आम लोगों के सिर्फ दिन रात नहीं, हालात बदलने चाहिए। चुनाव के समय हम लोगों के पास जा सकते हैं, तो चुनाव के बाद सरकार बनती है, तो सरकार बनने के बाद भी सरकारों को जनता के पास जाना चाहिए, ना कि जनता सरकारी दफ्तरों में खज्जल खुआर हो। यही आजादी के असली मायने हैं। शहीद आजम सरदार भगत सिंह जी के सपनों को साकार करने के लिए पंजाब सरकार ने फैसला किया है कि पंजाब के लोगों को अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर नहीं लगाने पड़ेंगे, बल्कि सरकारी दफ्तर खुद चल के लोगों के घर पर आएंगे।
अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर काटने की जरूरत नहीं, बस डायल करें 1076 और सरकारी सुविधाएं अपने घर पर ही पाएं। पंजाब की भगवंत मान सरकार आपके द्वार।
The biggest story tonight, powered by Century Laminates.
After arrest of car sevaki, INDI leader now fearmongers with another Godhra possible remark. Lobby narrative completely crumbles as Supreme Court calls for probe into Hindenburg malafide. But despite verdict, INDI continues on Adani rant. Congress says top court extraordinarily generous to SEBI. And Congress hypocrisy on Adani stands exposed. Jairam slams, Revant Reddy welcomes Adani delegation. Under lens for Liquorgate, Kejriwal skips summons for a third time, calls them illegal and invalid. And in Thrissur, Prime Minister holds mega roadshow, hits out at left Congress in an unrelenting attack. Welcome back, friends. And with less than 20 days to go for the mega Ram temple inauguration, Republic gets you an exclusive report from Ayodhya with Priyanka there on the ground. Have a look.
500 साल पहले जब बाबर के सेनापति मीर बाकी जब यहाँ आया था अयोध्या में राम जन्मभूमि मंदिर को तोड़ने के लिए, तो हमारे जो पूर्वज थे ठाकुर गजराज सिंह सूर्यवंशी जी, उन्होंने अपने रामलला जी के दरबार को बचाने के लिए यहाँ के समस्त क्षत्रियों को एकत्रित करके कई बार बाबर की सेना से युद्ध किए। अंततः जब वो रक्षा नहीं कर पाए, बाबर की सेना से जब हार हुआ, तो उन्होंने अपने कुल देवता सूर्यकुंड मंदिर पर जाकर क्षत्रियों के साथ सूर्यकुंड क्षत्रियों के साथ सूर्यवंशी के साथ वहाँ पर प्रण लिया कि जब तक रामलला को फिर से विराजमान नहीं कर देते हैं साथ सम्मान, तब तक हम सभी सूर्यवंशी क्षत्रिय भाई अपने शान, जो क्षत्रियों की शान कहते हैं पगड़ी, उसको धारण नहीं करेंगे, ना ही चमड़े का जूता चप्पल पहनेंगे और ना ही कभी छत्र को धारण किया जाएगा, जो छाता जिसे बोलते ठंडी गर्मी बरसात किसी भी समय में उसको धारण नहीं किया जाएगा। और यहाँ तक कि हम लोगों को शादी के समय में जो मंडप बनता है, सिर्फ हम लोग को सिर्फ 4 बांस शुभ के लिए गाड़ दिया जाता है, बाकी ऊपर कोई भी छत्र का निर्माण नहीं किया जाता है। अब 22 तारीख को जब रामलला हमारे विराजमान हो जाएंगे, तो जो हमारे पूर्वज गजराज सिंह ने जो प्रण लिया था, हम उनकी 9वीं पीढ़ी है, अभिषेक सिंह सूर्यवंशी नाम है, तो हम लोग साथ सम्मान अपने पूर्वज द्वारा लिए गए प्रण को पूरा करते हुए पगड़ी और छत्र धारण करेंगे।
तो एक बहुत ही इमोशनल एक जो होगी ये पूरी जो इंस्टेंस है, जो एक काफ़ी बहुत ही भावुक होंगे आप भी, क्योंकि इतने 500 साल पुरानी जो ये जो लिया था हमने, जो प्रॉमिस लिया था, अब हम देखने वाले हैं कि आप पगड़ी और जो जूते हैं, चमड़े के जूते, वो अब आप धारण करेंगे। किस तरह से जो क्या भावनाएं हैं इस समय जब आप देख रहे हैं 500 साल की जो पूरी जो आपकी रीत है वो अब खत्म हो?
अब 500 साल पहले जो हमारे पूर्वज ने जो कसम खाई थी, अब वो कसम माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जो है आदेशानुसार, जिसमें से हमारे जो है माननीय प्रधानमंत्री माननीय योगी जी के सहयोग से जो हमारा जो है हमारे पूर्वजों का बलिदान रहा है, और भगवान राम के तो हम तो वंशज ही हैं, हम तो सूर्यवंशी ठाकुर हैं, हम तो भगवान राम के ही वंशज हैं, तो हमसे ज़्यादा खुशी शायद ही किसी और को होगी। शायद मोदी जी का सीना 56 इंच का होगा, लेकिन आज जो भगवान अपने गर्भगृह में जा रहे हैं तो हम लोगों का सीना 126 इंच का हो गया है। तो हम लोगों को मतलब इतनी खुशी है कि हम लोग उसको जो परिभाषित नहीं कर सकते हैं, बहुत खुशी है।
इतने सालों तक किस तरह से देखते थे कि जो भगवान राम को जिसको पूजते हैं वो खुद एक जैसे हट में रखे गए थे, और अब उनका पक्का वो महल पूरा बनने जा रहा है राम मंदिर का, और जो हिस्ट्री है कुछ 90,000 लोगों ने अपनी बलिदान दिया था, उसके बारे में?
हमारे पूर्वज थे ठाकुर गजराज सिंह, जिनकी हम 9वीं पीढ़ी हैं, और करीब 500 साल पहले जब बाबर का सेनापति मीर बाकी आया हुआ था, मंदिर को उसने तोप लगा करके तोड़ दिया। उसके बाद हमारे बाबा को पता चला, ठाकुर गजराज सिंह को, उन्होंने यहाँ पे 90,000 सूर्यवंश क्षत्रियों को एकत्रित किया, और रास्ते में जाते वक्त सूर्यकुंड पड़ता है, जहाँ सूर्य भगवान का मंदिर है, हम लोगों के कुल देवता है। सभी लोगों 90,000 लोगों ने वहीं पर खड़े होकर के कसम खाई कि जब तक हम इन अकर्ताओं से अपने जो है रामलला मस्जिद को तोड़ करके हम अगर वो मंदिर नहीं बनवा लेंगे या भगवान राम को वहाँ स्थापित नहीं करा लेंगे, तब तक हम लोग जो है लौट के नहीं आएंगे, चाहे जो हो।
और अब आप बताइए कि किस तरह से जो भावनाएं हैं, क्योंकि कितने सालों से अब ये हमारी ये मान्यता थी कि पगड़ी नहीं करेंगे। एक तो उसका एक हमें ये भी बताइए कि किस मतलब से ये प्रतिज्ञा ली गई थी, और अब क्या अब आपकी
भावना ये है कि अब भगवान रामलला अपने स्थान पर जा रहे हैं गृह प्रवेश में, तो हम लोग भावना जो है बहुत खुशी की बात है। अब पगड़ी जूता जो है और छतरी जो है अब पहनेंगे जो है, इसीलिए बहुत खुशी की बात है जो हम लोग को। बस
All right, so this essentially is basically the sentiment here of the people who essentially are looking at, after 500 years, they will be first up going to be also taking the turban, and then also using the shoes made out of leather, as they had decided about 500 years ago that they will be giving up on both of these things. And then perhaps now, after the Pran Pratishtha program also takes place of the Ram Temple by 22nd of January, is when they will be breaking this fast, so to speak, as well. With video journalist Vipin Mori, I'm Priyanka Sharma for Republic.
All right, friends, that's Priyanka from Ayodhya getting you this story of Suryavanshi Thakur families that have waited for centuries for the Ram temple to come up. And in fact, now we have to move back to an important story, which is the Supreme Court verdict in the Adani case. And we are told that very soon we are going to be joined in by top legal eagle of the country, Mukul Rohatgi. Interviewing him would, of course, be Editor-in-Chief Arnab Goswami, just in a bit.
On the big Adani verdict of the Supreme Court, I'm joined by top legal eagle, Supreme Court senior advocate, former Attorney General. We have with us Mr. Mukul Rohatgi. Good evening, sir. You know, this Adani verdict today is already the subject of a political conversation. In a sense, the court has reposed its faith, Mr. Rohatgi, in the SEBI. Now, does this amount to an exoneration of the Adani Group completely, in your view?
I think it does, because Adani Group has been saying from the beginning that it has not conducted any dubious transactions or any malfeasance or misfeasance on their behalf. The Supreme Court has upheld the integrity of SEBI. It has upheld the integrity of the committee appointed by the Supreme Court headed by a retired judge. It has also commented adversely on petitions being filed based on third-party reports which are not verified and which cannot be called evidence. And it has also rejected a transfer of investigation from SEBI to any criminal body like a CBI, etc. So according to me, on all fronts, the Supreme Court has refused to entertain any plea raised by the writ petitioners.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, SEBI is also going to investigate, who made the money due to the short selling after the Hindenburg report. So that also should be a focus, shouldn't it? Because the Adani Group lost a lot of value in this period. It lost over 40, 50, 60 billion dollars
you are right.
in value in that short period. So what happens there?
Yeah, but see, Arnab, you are absolutely right. I have been saying on different channels that the focus should not only be on Adani as a group. The real focus should be on the shareholders, including the small stakeholders who have invested their life savings in the Adani companies. It is they who have suffered. I mean, Mr. Adani may have suffered loss of reputation, etc., etc. But the real suffering is by the man who feels the pinch. They have lost money because a professional organization whose avowed object is to do short selling, create upheaval in the market and make money, has got away with this. And therefore, we have to wipe a tear from every eye to see that those people who have suffered, there should be some recompense to them. How will that recompense come? The recompense can only come, as you rightly say, by finding out who were the people who made these windfall profits. If they are available in India or are within the reach of the law in India, then certainly the law must go after them, because these are unjustified windfall profits. They are tainted with illegality.
But is that possible? Is it possible to chase that? Because Mr. Rohatgi, in our country, it is said that malicious prosecution is very difficult to achieve. Equally, who would be the party who would do the recompensation here? I mean, Hindenburg cannot be made to pay up. So if the Adani Group or individual shareholders have lost money, who do they go after? I mean, can they go after the political parties who passed this falsehood as the truth? Should they go after the political parties or the specific individuals who are part of a concerted campaign to make the Hindenburg report look, like the last word?
Arnab, I will answer it in two phases. One, the political parties are guilty of highlighting these issues and creating havoc in the market, leading to losses of the shareholders. They are guilty of that, and they have filed petitions or backed these petitions. So first thing, the court should have dismissed these petitions or should have closed these matters by imposing huge costs for filing frivolous PILs which had no basis, spending valuable court time which could be used by a lot of under trials who are suffering in jail. All that time has been lost, and etc., etc. So they should be mulcted with costs so as to provide an adverse scenario for those who indulge in these kind of PILs, which are not public interest litigations but private interest litigations, or if I may use the phrase used by the Supreme Court in some cases, as publicity interest litigation. So that is one part. The second part is, as you rightly say, that if Hindenburg is not available in India, then it is very difficult to go after Hindenburg for purposes of recompense. But if there are other parties which are within the reach of the law, who have made these gains which were unauthorized, then one can have an investigation to see if somebody loses, then somebody wins. Who is that person who has won that money in short-term gains? And if they are within the reach of the law, investigation should be done and the matters should be followed to the logical end for purposes of recompense.
That's very, very important because there has to be some justice at some point. Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, thank you very much for speaking to me and consistently maintaining your stand on this Adani issue, which has been proven to be completely correct. Mukul Rohatgi, it's a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र. AMFI Mutual Funds. सही है. Co-powered by Sera. This is your space. Play it your way. Philips Smart Wi-Fi LED lights. Smarter generation की smart lights.
हेलो बेटा.
मिस्टर विकास के साथ कौन है?
बस बेटा थोड़ी देर और. वो मिस्टर विकास की फाइल. आप पॉलिसी बाजार. मैम आपका हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस क्लेम अप्रूव हो गया है. अब आप सर को घर ले जा सकती हैं.
क्लेम के टाइम पे हमेशा आपकी हेल्प को तैयार. पॉलिसी बाजार. 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 390 रुपए महीने से शुरू.
QSMTHE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
जहां यादगार होता है हर एक किस्सा. इको रिट्रीट ओडिशा.
Shadows of light, driving into the wild. Surprise. Keep it wild. The new sonnet.
Kia, movement that inspires.
भाई इतनी बड़ी टाइल.
इतनी बड़ी बड़ी हिट्स आप लोगों ने मुझे दी हैं. टाइल्स तो बड़े होने चाहिए. सुमानी मैक्स टाइल्स, टाइलों का सबसे बड़ा भाई. सुमानी मैक्स टाइल्स, जमीन से जुड़े.
Whenever I had ice cream or cold water, I would experience a sharp shooting sensation, so I just kept ignoring it. Even my hot chai was giving me the same amount of discomfort. My dentist recommended Sensodyne, so now I can be completely carefree and sip my hot cup of tea. It really works.
हिंदुओं की आस्था के सबसे बड़े केंद्रों में से एक, पावन और धार्मिक नगरी अयोध्या, भगवान श्री राम की जन्मभूमि है. इसी राम नगरी में ही साकार हो रहा है करोड़ों सनातनियों का सदियों पुराना सपना. मंदिर के उद्घाटन का भारत समेत दुनिया भर के राम भक्तों को बेसब्री से इंतजार है. जैसे जैसे इस भव्य मंदिर में दर्शन की तारीख नजदीक आ रही है, वैसे वैसे आस्था का सैलाब हिलोरे ले रहा है. जनवरी 2024 में रामलला अपने भव्य धाम में विराजमान होने वाले हैं. दशकों से संघर्ष और त्याग के बाद जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला आया तो पूरे देश की उम्मीद भरोसे में बदल गई. उसी विश्वास के पहिए को प्रधानमंत्री मोदी और सीएम योगी ने रफ्तार दी.
टिप चाहिए, पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ. डूबेगा नहीं, चलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा और मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा. अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ. सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र.
I would like to begin by congratulating the districts, the states, the missions and posts जो आज के जो अवॉर्डीज जो हैं, मैं सबको बधाई देता हूँ, सबकी प्रशंसा करता हूँ। G20 was a way of getting India ready for the world and world ready for India. ODOP was one part of it. Another related aspect was that when people came during G20 and saw the cult, उन्होंने अलग जगह देखी, they saw our arts, craft, monuments, but finally they took back ODOP. Now, it has actually had a very strong impact on tourism. So, I expect ODOP to actually translate into stronger tourism in the years to come. And आप सब जानते हैं कि tourism, nothing is a more powerful driver of employment tourism. Because tourism से बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं. लोग आते हैं, एयरपोर्ट में आते हैं, टैक्सियों में जाते हैं, होटल में रुकते हैं. There are hundreds of ways by which tourism impacts a country, and again, ODOP can, is, and should become a more powerful driver of tourism. अब मैंने कहा कि ODOP जो है एक किस्म से हमारी विविधता का एक प्रकट है, पर हमारे विरासत का भी है. और इसीलिए जो हमारी इनिशिएटिव जो थी, द विश्वकर्मा इनिशिएटिव, with many of us associated ourselves. The Vishwakarma initiative is meant to keep the ODOP, the foundation of the ODOP, strong. That by keeping alive, because Vishwakarma initiative provides employment, but it keeps alive traditions, it keeps alive skills. It is an appreciation of us, of our own past, and most important, it is central to our identity.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र. AMFI Mutual Funds. सही है. Co-powered by Sera. This is your space. Play it your way. Philips Smart Wi-Fi LED lights. Smarter generation की smart lights.
कुछ महीने पहले मेरे दोस्त की हेल्थ अचानक खराब हुई और कुछ दिनों में ही उसकी डेथ हो गई. उसने पॉलिसी बाजार से टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस लिया हुआ था. मैंने पॉलिसी बाजार को कांटेक्ट किया. उनकी टीम ने क्लेम दिलाने में उसकी पेरेंट्स की पूरी हेल्प की.
क्लेम के टाइम पे आपकी हेल्प के लिए हमेशा तैयार. पॉलिसी बाजार. 1 करोड़ का टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 470 रुपए महीने से शुरू.
हमारे देश को आजाद हुए 76 साल हो गए, लेकिन कई चीजों में हमको अभी आजादी नहीं मिली. जैसे कि सरकारी दफ्तरों में दुश्वारियां, परेशानियां, बदइंतजामियां. हमारे शहीदों को इस बात की कतई चिंता नहीं थी कि देश को आजादी मिलेगी या ना, लेकिन उनको एक बात की चिंता थी कि आजादी के बाद देश कौन से हाथों में जाएगा, देश के हालात क्या होंगे. हमने आजादी की जंग इसलिए लड़ी थी ताकि हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियों की जिंदगी आसान हो सके, ना कि इसलिए कि वो जगह जगह पर सरकारी दफ्तरों में धक्के खाएं, परेशानियों का सामना करना पड़े. अगर जंग सबने इकट्ठे होकर लड़ी थी आजादी की, तो फिर सुख सहूलतें भी सबको इकट्ठी मिलनी चाहिए. हम तो शहीदों के पांव की मिट्टी के एक धूल के तिनके के बराबर भी नहीं है, लेकिन ये बसंती रंग की पग शहीदों के सपनों और इरादों की हमें याद दिलाती रहती है कि हमारे देश में आम लोगों के सिर्फ दिन रात नहीं, हालात बदलने चाहिए. चुनाव के समय हम लोगों के पास जा सकते हैं, तो चुनाव के बाद सरकार बनती है, तो सरकार बनने के बाद भी सरकारों को जनता के पास जाना चाहिए, ना कि जनता सरकारी दफ्तरों में खज्जल खुआर हो. यही आजादी के असली मायने हैं. शहीद आजम सरदार भगत सिंह जी के सपनों को साकार करने के लिए पंजाब सरकार ने फैसला किया है कि पंजाब के लोगों को अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर नहीं लगाने पड़ेंगे, बल्कि सरकारी दफ्तर खुद चल के लोगों के घर पर आएंगे.
अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर काटने की जरूरत नहीं. बस डायल करें 1076 और सरकारी सुविधाएं अपने घर पर ही पाएं. पंजाब की भगवंत मान सरकार आपके द्वार।
आपने सोमानी का नया रोल देखा? वही स्टाइल और रेंज सोमानी बाथवेयर में भी। सोमानी बाथवेयर।
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
मोदी सरकार की गारंटी, हर घर पहुंचेगा नल से जल। अब तक 13.5 करोड़ से अधिक नल कनेक्शन। हमारा संकल्प विकसित भारत।
केंट से पानी होता है 100% प्योर।
केंट आरओ प्योरिटी दिखाता भी है।
केंट देता है सबसे शुद्ध पानी।
Despite multiple summons being sent out to Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal by the Enforcement Director, the Chief Minister decided to not once again attend the summons that were sent out to him. In fact, the Chief Minister says that a malicious campaign has been started, so much so he says that he does not know whether he's being called in as a witness or a suspect, something that the Chief Minister has completely ignored, that this after all happens to be the prerogative of the federal agency. He's also come under immense flack from the opposition party, where the BJP says that if the Chief Minister thinks that he is an honest person, why exactly would he not really respond to the summons that have been sent not once but twice? Listen into some of the reactions coming in.
ईडी ने या केंद्र सरकार ने ये नहीं बताया कि वे अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को किस हैसियत से बुला रहे हैं। ना वो गवाह हैं, ना वो अभियुक्त हैं। ईडी ने अब तक साफ नहीं किया। टाइमिंग पे भी सवाल उठते हैं। ठीक लोकसभा के चुनाव से पहले जब सारे दल और केंद्र सरकार खुद लोकसभा के चुनाव की तैयारी कर रही है, उन चुनावों की कैंपेन से पहले मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को गिरफ्तार करने की साजिश केंद्र सरकार कर रही है, ताकि मुख्यमंत्री लोकसभा चुनाव की कैंपेन में ना जा पाए, उनको जेल में बंद कर दिया जाए।
तो चुनाव के पहले सीए का नोटिफिकेशन करने जा रहे हैं और हेमंत सोरेन के ऊपर के जो सहयोगी है उनके ऊपर इस समय छापा पड़ रहा है। और छत्तीसगढ़ में चुनाव के समय झूठा आरोप लगाया गया बघेल जी के ऊपर और ईडी के गलत नोटिसेस गए, वहाँ पर दबाव डाला गया और वही विपक्ष के साथ किया जा रहा है। और विपक्षी गठबंधन में अरविंद केजरीवाल जी भी हैं, तो इलीगल है। सोच समझ के उन्होंने कहा होगा कि इलीगल है, लेकिन यह बात तो सच है कि इन सारी एजेंसियों का जो काम था वह न करके विपक्ष के ऊपर दबाव बनाने का ही काम कर रही हैं।
Sensing an opportunity, the principal opposition party in the national capital, Bharatiya Janata Party, has taken on the Chief Minister of Delhi, saying that if at all he believes that he's an honest person, why exactly would he not respond to the summons? And not just that, the BJP says that his colleagues have now been sent to the jail only because Arvind Kejriwal believes that they are sacrificial lambs. Listen in to what the BJP had to say.
निश्चित तौर पर जो लोग राजनीति में आने से पहले ईमानदारी की दुहाई देते थे, आज सबसे बड़ी बेईमान पार्टी आम आदमी पार्टी बनी है।
जहां जहां पैसे अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने दिए हैं उनका हिसाब है। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के पास इन चीज़ों का जवाब नहीं है। अगर होता
तो जब संजय सिंह के लिए बोलते थे, जो लोगों के बच्चों की बात थी, संजय सिंह जाएंगे जेल जी, ये जेल में रहेंगे जी, मनीष सिसोदिया जेल जाएंगे जी, ये शहीद भगत सिंह हैं जी, इनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता। लेकिन जब अपनी बात आई तो हवा निकल गई।
कट्टर बेईमान अरविंद केजरीवाल जो कभी ये कहते थे कि भारत से भ्रष्टाचार को खत्म करना है, ये दीमक है। आज भारतीय राजनीति का वो भ्रष्टाचारी दीमक बन गए हैं, जिनको ये गलत फहमी है, ये गुमा है कि मैं कानून से ऊपर हूं।
Today, once again, Mr. Kejriwal has skipped the third summons also. This shows that चोर की मूंछ में तिनका जरूर है, that there is something to hide, therefore he's acting like an absconder and like a criminal.
Well, that's all that we could pack in this edition of The Biggest Story tonight. On the other side, news and updates continue.
Powered by Amity University, ranked amongst the top 3 universities globally.
QSMTHE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
हमारे देश को आजाद हुए 76 साल हो गए, लेकिन कई चीजों में हमको अभी आजादी नहीं मिली, जैसे कि सरकारी दफ्तरों में दुश्वारियां, परेशानियां, बदइंतजामियां। हमारे शहीदों को इस बात की कतई चिंता नहीं थी कि देश को आजादी मिलेगी या ना, लेकिन उनको एक बात की चिंता थी कि आजादी के बाद देश कौन से हाथों में जाएगा, देश के हालात क्या होंगे। हमने आजादी की जंग इसलिए लड़ी थी ताकि हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियों की जिंदगी आसान हो सके, ना कि इसलिए कि वो जगह जगह पर सरकारी दफ्तरों में धक्के खाएं, परेशानियों का सामना करना पड़े। अगर जंग सबने इकट्ठे होकर लड़ी थी आजादी की, तो फिर सुख सहूलतें भी सबको इकट्ठी मिलनी चाहिए। हम तो शहीदों के पांव की मिट्टी के एक धूल के तिनके के बराबर भी नहीं है, लेकिन ये बसंती रंग की पग शहीदों के सपनों और इरादों की हमें याद दिलाती रहती है कि हमारे देश में आम लोगों के सिर्फ दिन रात नहीं, हालात बदलने चाहिए। चुनाव के समय हम लोगों के पास जा सकते हैं, तो चुनाव के बाद सरकार बनती है, तो सरकार बनने के बाद भी सरकारों को जनता के पास जाना चाहिए, ना कि जनता सरकारी दफ्तरों में खज्जल खुआर हो। यही आजादी के असली मायने हैं। शहीद आजम सरदार भगत सिंह जी के सपनों को साकार करने के लिए पंजाब सरकार ने फैसला किया है कि पंजाब के लोगों को अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर नहीं लगाने पड़ेंगे, बल्कि सरकारी दफ्तर खुद चल के लोगों के घर पर आएंगे।
अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर काटने की जरूरत नहीं, बस डायल करें 1076 और सरकारी सुविधाएं अपने घर पर ही पाएं। पंजाब की भगवंत मान सरकार आपके द्वार।
भाई इतनी बड़ी टाइल,
इतनी बड़ी बड़ी हिट्स आप लोगों ने मुझे दी हैं। टाइल्स तो बड़े होने चाहिए। सुमानी मैक्स टाइल्स, टाइलों का सबसे बड़ा भाई। सुमानी मैक्स टाइल्स, जमीन से जुड़े।
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
मोदी सरकार की गारंटी, महिलाओं के लिए धुआं मुक्त रसोई। प्रधानमंत्री उज्ज्वला योजना के तहत 10 करोड़ गैस कनेक्शन। हमारा संकल्प विकसित भारत।
50. I'm Shivangi Shukla. Let's get started. PM Modi is in Canada today. Earlier today, he conducted a roadshow where he greeted thousands of people present at the Swaraj ground. To catch a glimpse of him following the roadshow, the Prime Minister addressed a mass gathering of women in the Bharatiya Janata Party's Mahila Conference. Addressing a mass gathering of women at the BJP's Mahila Conference, Prime Minister Modi highlighted the initiatives that the centre has taken to strengthen what he calls Stree Shakti. He highlighted that 10 crore gas connections have been provided in the last 10 years. He also said that the laws that were put on hold by the opposition are finally taken into recognition and implemented. He also has talked about triple talaq and said that the Modi government has helped Muslim women in the fight against this injustice. The BJP has staged a protest against the arrest of the Karsevak for alleged involvement in the riots after the Babri Masjid demolition in 1982. Now the protest broke out in Hubballi city of Karnataka, where the workers protested with slogans and the posters. Responding to the arrest of Karsevak in Karnataka, leaders of opposition in the Karnataka Legislative Assembly, R. Ashoka, slammed the Congress. He said that the Congress is doing hooliganism, is arresting Hindu workers because the Ram temple is being inaugurated. Karnataka CM Siddaramaiah has condemned the BJP protesters in Hubballi and said that anyone who does something wrong needs to be punished. He further questioned the BJP's intention over holding these protests and said that the Karnataka government only takes action against those who commit crimes. Letter to ED, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has sought a questionnaire from the agency and also questioned the intent of the summons served to him. He also mentions in the letter that the Rajya Sabha elections are to take place on Jan 19th, and he also has participated in the Republic Day program on Jan 26th as Chief Minister of Delhi. Today, in the Adani-Hindenburg case, the Supreme Court mentioned its limited power to interfere with SEBI's rules. The court also advised the government and SEBI to think about improving rules based on an expert committee's advice. Additionally, the court decided not to order a special probe into the Adani-Hindenburg matter. Senior advocate Mukul Rohtagi has said that the court has trusts the SEBI and it does not warrant any CBI or any police probe as demanded in 4 petitions. He also confirmed that no material was found to warrant any other investigation. Congress leader B.K. Hariprasad has talked a controversy today as he claimed that there is a possibility of Godhra-like incident in Karnataka in a run to attend the consecration ceremony of Ram temple set to take place on 22nd Jan in Ayodhya. He further said that all arrangements should be made for those who want to go to Ayodhya to avoid a Godhra-like incident from taking place in Karnataka. Reacting to Hari Prasad's statement of a Godhra-like situation in Karnataka, former Chief Minister of Karnataka D.V. Sadananda Gowda has said that a complaint should be registered against Congress's Hari Prasad and said that he should be arrested. Amid the ongoing row with the Ayodhya Ram temple inauguration, Congress leader Vijay Singh questioned the whereabouts of original Ram idol and the necessity for a new one.
इस रामलला की लड़ाई पर मूर्ति पर सारा झगड़ा हुआ, वो मूर्ति कहाँ है? वो मूर्ति स्थापित क्यों नहीं हुई? नई मूर्ति कहाँ से आ रही है? वो रामलला की मूर्ति जिस पर कि सारा झगड़ा हुआ, वो कहाँ है? इस पर हम लोग उनसे पूछना चाहते हैं कि नई मूर्ति की आवश्यकता क्या पड़ी?
West Bengal BJP MP Sadhvi Niranjan has lashed out at the opposition for boycotting the Ram temple inauguration and said that Lord Ram does not exist for them and if opposition has faith in him, they will visit the temple.
नकार चुके हैं, राम कोई पैदा नहीं हुए हैं, राम सेतु था ही नहीं, तो वो लोग कैसे विश्वास करेंगे? इनको हम नहीं सफाई दे सकते हैं.
Former wrestler Sakshi Malik has said that she only had problems with Sanjay Singh and not with the federation. She expressed concern over Brij Bhushan targeting her family.
हमें जो है नई फेडरेशन से कोई दिक्कत नहीं थी, सिर्फ हमें एक आदमी से दिक्कत थी, संजय सिंह से. और अगर नई फेडरेशन दोबारा आती है तो उससे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, ना ही हमें एड हॉक कमेटी से भी कोई दिक्कत है। मैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी, अमित शाह जी, इन सब से मैं अभी भी यही निवेदन करती हूँ कि जैसा कि आप इतने समय से देख रहे हैं, वो अभी भी संजय सिंह है, वो कैसे आंखें दिखा रहा है, तो मैं नहीं चाहती कि फेडरेशन में जो है उसका दोबारा से कोई इंटरफेरेंस हो। ये आपसे निवेदन है।
Young wrestlers protested against Olympic winners Bajrang Punia, Sakshi Malik and Vinesh Fogata in Delhi and accused them of ruining wrestling. CPIM leader Sitaram Yechuri said that the Citizenship Amendment Act is being clarified just before the election because it is being used as a political weapon to gain in the elections through sharpening communal polarization.
Very clear. For all these years since the law has been passed, the rules were framed, we were told, but they were not notified. Clearly, they want to notify these rules just before the election, to use this as a political weapon in order to gain in the elections through communal polarization, sharpening communal polarization.
The president of AIMM, Assuddin Owaisi, has labelled the Citizenship Amendment Act as anti-constitutional and said that if CAA is implemented, it will be a grave injustice, especially to the Muslims, the Dalits and the poor of India.
CAA is anti-constitution. It is a law which has been made on the basis of religion. It will be a grave injustice, especially to the Muslims, to the Dalits, and to the especially poor people of India, irrespective of which caste and religion they belong to. It is unconstitutional because it is made on religion. Secondly, it has to be understood with NPR NRC.
Bihar Deputy CM Tejasvi Yadav hits out at Union Home Minister Amit Shah's reaffirmation of CAA implementation and said that as elections approaching, issues like Hindu-Muslim will come up.
पार्टी ने स्पष्ट रूप से इस बात को किया। अब चुनाव आएगा तो इस तरह के मुद्दे आएंगे, हिंदू, मुसलमान, मंदिर, मस्जिद, और कोई मुद्दा है क्या?
Supreme Court has directed the Lok Sabha Secretary General to respond in 2 weeks to Mahua Moitwa's plea contesting expulsion from Lok Sabha in a cash for query case. Advocate J. Anand Dehadrai lodged a complaint with the CBI citing serious concerns of surveillance by Mahua Moitra. He said that the fight is dangerous, but he will not step back.
अभी कुछ कहना गलत होगा इसमें क्योंकि मामला अभी सब जुडिस है और कंप्लेंट मैंने सीबीआई को दे दी है, लेकिन ये इशू बहुत ही सीरियस है और इसमें कई लोग इन्वॉल्व हैं और जिनके खिलाफ मैंने कंप्लेंट की है उनके साथ कोई उड़ीसा के भी हैं जो उनको सपोर्ट और फाइनेंस कर रहे हैं। तो ये फाइट थोड़ी सी डेंजरस है, लेकिन मैं हटने वाला नहीं हूँ।
PM Modi inaugurated and laid the foundation and stone of several development projects worth rupees 1,156 crores in Lakshmadweep. PM Modi also distributed laptops, bicycles, Kisan cards and Ayushman cards to the beneficiaries of several schemes. Karnataka CM Siddaramaiah is going to hold a meeting along with the Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar tomorrow. The meeting is being held to hold discussions on the upcoming parliamentary elections. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh announced Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar as a chief guest for Startup Expo at Industrial Biotech Park in Kathua, Jammu and Kashmir. The event is being held tomorrow. The minister revealed that the Gaganyaan test flights for sending humans to space are reaching their final stages this year. So run up to the upcoming Lok Sabha elections to be held in April-May this year. Bharatiya Janata Party National President JP Nadda is paying a one-day visit to Jammu on Jan 7th. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar will pay a 2-day visit to Nepal beginning tomorrow. The visit aims to boost cooperation in an array of areas including hydropower, connectivity, digital payments and trade. While addressing a rally in Uttar Pradesh, Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh has said that there is only one religion and that is Sanatan Dharma. Speaking further, the Chief Minister said that Sanatan Dharma has maintained its vitality in every country, every time, in every situation. At least 12 people died and dozens of people have been reportedly injured after a bus collided with a truck in Assam. The incident was reported in the early hours today near the Golaghat district. The INDI has now conducted searches at 31 places in Haryana and Rajasthan in connection with the murder of Sri Rashtriya Rajput Karni Sena chief Sukhdev Singh Gora Sukhtel irrigation project in Bulangi today. The project aims to boost irrigation and support local farmers. The project set to complete its distribution system next year will eventually irrigate about 1 lakh acres across 203 villages, benefiting around 75,000 farmers in the state. Chhattisgarh CM Vishnu Deo Sai, along with Deputy CM Jay Sharma and Arun Sao, chaired the state cabinet meeting in Raipur today itself. Anganwadi workers staged a protest in Andhra Pradesh's Vijayawada, demanding urgent resolution to their grievances. The protesters were detained by police. Israeli strike claimed the life of Saleh Arori, Hamas's second-ranking political leader. Arori, a key figure in Hamas and a co-founder of its military branch, was a most senior Hamas member lost during the ongoing war with Israel. Shortly after the announcement of the top Hamas official Arori's death in Lebanon, protesters in Ramallah's West Bank streets called for revenge and urged Lebanon's Hezbollah Secretary General Saeed Hassan to respond. Israeli military spokesperson Daniel Hagari has reaffirmed focus on countering Hamas after an explosion in Beirut killed a senior leader of the Islamic militant group. The attack in Beirut raised concerns that Lebanon's Hezbollah group could strike back in revenge. Israeli military troops engaged in firing while tanks moved towards southern Israel area close to the Gaza border. Israel announced that it would withdraw several thousand troops from Gaza in the upcoming weeks with the aim of shifting its offensive. Israeli airstrike has killed at least 3 people and wounded 3 others in southern Gaza's Rafah. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to press ahead with the assault in Gaza until Hamas is crushed and hostages are freed. Israeli military has released footage of what it says are strikes carried out on Hamas militants, infrastructure and tunnel shafts in the Gaza Strip. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said that Israel is not planning to hold the war. Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh thanked South Africa for launching a case at the UN top court accusing Israel of genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. He also said that Hamas appreciates the political and legal importance of this lawsuit. Even as Israel continues to strike Gaza, it has announced its decision to draw down troops. Instead, it will withdraw 5 brigades or several thousand troops from Gaza in the upcoming weeks. As the Israeli military continues its war against Hamas ahead of the Israeli attack in Beirut that killed a senior Hamas official, the UN has urged for a maximum restraint. Mourners in Iraq marked the 4th anniversary of the killing of Soleimani and al-Muhandis in Baghdad. Both Soleimani and al-Muhandis were killed on Jan 3rd, 2020 in a U.S. drone strike ordered by the U.S. President Donald Trump. Donald Trump has escalated his verbal attacks on immigrants and lauded their Eisenhower area raids without using its name. Trump is seeking a second term and has promised voters he will begin the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, exceeding the 1950s. 4 people have died and more than 90 are said to be injured after the Russian military launched a barbaric missile and drone strike on Kiev. The Kremlin's forces have launched over 170 Shahed drones and dozens of missiles of various types against Ukrainian targets. Russian Defense Ministry has shared a series of videos of its airstrikes in Ukraine after the Russian military attacked a Ukrainian military-industrial complex in Kiev on its outskirts that manufactured missile drones and repair weapons. Rescue operations are still underway in Tokyo after a series of earthquakes hit the country on New Year's Day. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said that we are at a critical moment and rescue of disaster victims is a race against time. After a passenger plane collided with a Coast Guard aircraft on the runway, it burst into flames, killing 5 people aboard on the plane. Now the transport officials and the police have begun their investigation into the case. South Korea's President Yoon Suk-yeol has condemned the attack on opposition leader Lee Jae-myung, calling it an act of terrorism. Lee Jae-myung was stabbed in the neck by an unidentified man during a visit to Busan. Harvard University President Claudine Gay has resigned amid plagiarism accusations and criticism over testimony at a congressional hearing, where she was unable to say clearly that calls on campus for the genocide of Jews would violate the school's conduct policy. Ahead of the general elections in Bangladesh on Sunday, critics have hit at Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, saying that she threatens democracy. They also say that her government uses harsh tools to muzzle dissent, shrink press freedoms, and curtail civil society. Karolina Pliskova defeated Naomi Osaka in the second round of the Brisbane International, halting Osaka's WTA Tour comeback event. And this was Osaka's first tournament after 15 months. And a 16-year-old darts sensation, Liu.
Powered by Amity University, ranked amongst the top 3 universities globally.
सर आप बहुत लकी है कि आपके बेटे ने हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस और बाकी सारी फॉर्मेलिटीज टाइम से पूरी कर दी है। अब आप घर जा सकते हैं।
मेरा बेटा?
तो फिर आप?
पॉलिसी बाजार।
क्लेम के टाइम पे हमेशा आपकी हेल्प को तैयार। पॉलिसी बाजार 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 390 रुपए महीने से शुरू।
There's a way to open up a world of opportunities with the most reputed companies of the world. The way 98% of our students secured placement last year, with top rankings and coveted accreditation to show for them. The MBA programs at the Amrita School of Business. Admissions have opened. Apply now.
मोदी सरकार की गारंटी, किसानों को हर साल रुपए 6,000, 11 करोड़ 80 लाख किसानों को अब तक 2,60,000 करोड़ रुपए की सहायता। हमारा संकल्प विकसित भारत।
आपने सोमानी का नया रोल देखा? वही स्टाइल और रेंज सोमानी बाथवेयर में भी। सोमानी बाथवेयर।
And viewers, welcome back. We're live in breaking exclusive Republic Media Network's editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami spoke to the former AG Mukul Rohatgi. Listen in.
On the big Adani verdict of the Supreme Court, I'm joined by top legal eagle, Supreme Court senior advocate, former Attorney General. We have with us Mr. Mukul Rohatgi. Good evening, sir. You know, this Adani verdict today is already the subject of a political conversation. In a sense, the court has reposed its faith, Mr. Rohatgi, in the SEBI. Now, does this amount to an exoneration of the Adani Group completely, in your view?
I think it does, because Adani Group has been saying from the beginning that it has not conducted any dubious transactions or any malfeasance or misfeasance on their behalf. The Supreme Court has upheld the integrity of SEBI. It has upheld the integrity of the committee appointed by the Supreme Court, headed by a retired judge. It has also commented adversely on petitions being filed based on third-party reports which are not verified and which cannot be called evidence. And it has also rejected a transfer of investigation from SEBI to any criminal body like a CBI, etc. So according to me, on all fronts, the Supreme Court has refused to entertain any plea raised by the writ petitioners.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, SEBI is also going to investigate, who made the money due to the short selling after the Hindenburg report. So that also should be a focus, shouldn't it? Because the Adani Group lost a lot of value in this period. It lost
Absolutely.
over 40, 50, 60 billion
Arnab,
dollars
you are right.
in value in that short period. So what happens there?
Yeah, but see, Arnab, you are absolutely right. I have been saying on different channels that the focus should not only be on Adani as a group. The real focus should be on the shareholders, including the small stakeholders who have invested their life savings in the Adani companies. It is they who have suffered. I mean, Mr. Adani may have suffered loss of reputation, etc., etc. But the real suffering is by the man who feels the pinch. They have lost money because a professional organization whose avowed object is to do short selling, create upheaval in the market and make money, has got away with this. And therefore, we have to wipe a tear from every eye to see that those people who have suffered, there should be some recompense to them. How will that recompense come? The recompense can only come, as you rightly say, by finding out who were the people who made these windfall profits. If they are available in India or are within the reach of the law in India, then certainly the law must go after them, because these are unjustified windfall profits. They are tainted with illegality.
But is that possible? Is it possible to chase that? Because Mr. Rohatgi, in our country, it is said that malicious prosecution is very difficult to achieve. Equally, who would be the party who would do the recompensation here? I mean, Hindenburg cannot be made to pay up. So if the Adani Group or individual shareholders have lost money, who do they go after? I mean, can they go after the political parties who passed this falsehood as the truth? Should they go after the political parties or the specific individuals who are part of a concerted campaign to make the Hindenburg report look, like the last word?
Arnab, I will answer it in two phases. One, the political parties are guilty of highlighting these issues and creating havoc in the market, leading to losses of the shareholders. They are guilty of that, and they have filed petitions or backed these petitions. So first thing, the court should have dismissed these petitions or should have closed these matters by imposing huge costs for filing frivolous PILs which had no basis, spending valuable court time which could be used by a lot of under trials who lost, and etc., etc. So they should be mulcted with costs so as to provide an adverse scenario for those who indulge in these kind of PILs, which are not public interest litigations but private interest litigations, or if I may use the phrase used by the Supreme Court in some cases, as publicity interest litigation. So that is one part. The second part is, as you rightly say, that if Hindenburg is not available in India, then it is very difficult to go after Hindenburg for purposes of recompense. But if there are other parties which are within the reach of the law, who have made these gains which were unauthorized, then one can have an investigation to see if somebody loses, then somebody wins. Who is that person who has won that money in short-term gains? And if they are within the reach of the law, investigation should be done and the matter should be followed to the logical end for purposes of recompense.
That's very, very important, because there has to be some justice at some point. Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, thank you very much for speaking to me and consistently maintaining your stand on this Adani issue, which has been proven to be completely correct. Mukul Rohatgi, it's a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
हमारे देश को आजाद हुए 76 साल हो गए, लेकिन कई चीजों में हमको अभी आजादी नहीं मिली, जैसे कि सरकारी दफ्तरों में दुश्वारियां, परेशानियां, बदइंतजामियां। हमारे शहीदों को इस बात की कतई चिंता नहीं थी कि देश को आजादी मिलेगी या ना, लेकिन उनको एक बात की चिंता थी कि आजादी के बाद देश कौन से हाथों में जाएगा, देश के हालात क्या होंगे। हमने आजादी की जंग इसलिए लड़ी थी ताकि हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियों की जिंदगी आसान हो सके, ना कि इसलिए कि वो जगह जगह पर सरकारी दफ्तरों में धक्के खाएं, परेशानियों का सामना करना पड़े। अगर जंग सबने इकट्ठे होकर लड़ी थी आजादी की, तो फिर सुख सहूलतें भी सबको इकट्ठी मिलनी चाहिए। हम तो शहीदों के पांव की मिट्टी के एक धूल के तिनके के बराबर भी नहीं है, लेकिन ये बसंती रंग की पग शहीदों के सपनों और इरादों की हमें याद दिलाती रहती है कि हमारे देश में आम लोगों के सिर्फ दिन रात नहीं, हालात बदलने चाहिए। चुनाव के समय हम लोगों के पास जा सकते हैं, तो चुनाव के बाद सरकार बनती है, तो सरकार बनने के बाद भी सरकारों को जनता के पास जाना चाहिए, ना कि जनता सरकारी दफ्तरों में खज्जल खुआर हो। यही आजादी के असली मायने हैं। शहीद आजम सरदार भगत सिंह जी के सपनों को साकार करने के लिए पंजाब सरकार ने फैसला किया है कि पंजाब के लोगों को अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर नहीं लगाने पड़ेंगे, बल्कि सरकारी दफ्तर खुद चल के लोगों के घर पर आएंगे।
अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर काटने की जरूरत नहीं, बस डायल करें 1076 और सरकारी सुविधाएं अपने घर पर ही पाएं। पंजाब की भगवंत मान सरकार आपके द्वार।
Hi, what's that? That's a Manish Malhotra. Not your dress. The cupboard. The laminate is a Manish Malhotra design.
Century Laminates by Manish Malhotra. Fashion for your furniture. Live it up, live it up.
Burning Question, powered by Kent Oro, co-powered by Sera.
Good evening and welcome, friends. This Wednesday edition of Burning Question. The Congress party caught looking London, talking Tokyo on the Adani issue. Unfortunately, not accepting the Supreme Court verdict as well. On a day when Jairam Ramesh came out with a 2-page analysis of the verdict, not essentially accepting it, their own Chief Minister Revanth Reddy in Telangana was seen welcoming an Adani delegation led by Karan Adani and discussing investments, growth prospects, among other things. So obviously, the Congress party has two yardsticks, one for Delhi, another one for Hyderabad, and that's going to be our focus, this burning question. Let me begin with the headlines first. After arrest of car sevak, INDI leader now fearmongers with another Godhra possible remark. Lobby narrative completely crumbles as Supreme Court calls for probe into the Hindenburg malafide. But despite the verdict, the Adani rant continues, says top court extraordinarily generous to SEBI. Congress hypocrisy on Adani stands exposed. Jairam slams, but Revanth Reddy welcomes delegation. Under lens for liquor gate, Kejriwal skips summons for third time, calls them illegal and invalid. And in Thrissur, Prime Minister holds a mega roadshow, hits out at left, Congress in an unrelenting attack. Welcome back, friends. The Supreme Court today has quashed a batch of pleas seeking A SIT probe in the Adani-Hindenburg case. The report by the US-based firm was used by the opposition to take on the Modi government. The verdict, of course, by the apex court was not welcomed by the Congress party, even as their own chief minister was seen welcoming one delegation. Let's look at this story in a capsule, and then I come back for a conversation.
The Adani attack, a fatal blow according to the opposition. Turns out to be a big dud. Three-judge Supreme Court bench, headed by the Chief Justice of India, said there were no grounds for an SIT to probe the case.
Judgment has spoken now, and the judgment says that the judgment has taken a view there is no conflict of interest, and I think that settles the issue. And therefore, irrespective of what people may say, today there is a judgment of the Supreme Court till it is, assuming it is sought to be reviewed, till unless a different view is taken in review, today it is the settled position, and it is not only an interpretation, it is a conclusive finding on the various issues that were raised, including conflict of interest.
The opposition clearly is unhappy with the Supreme Court order. This with the Congress and the left being most vocal about the SC verdict. INDI continues on Adani rant despite verdict as their narrative falls apart. Why won't INDI accept the Supreme Court verdict? Let's debate.
All right, with me in the studio, senior advocate Teshrata Nigam, political analyst live from Delhi. Also, Sumant Raman, political analyst, joining us live from Chennai. And we have Yogendra Kapoor, economist, live from Delhi. I would want to begin with Sheetal P. Singh, senior journalist. And let's see if we can really defend the Congress party position today. You see, Mr. Singh, the Congress party continues to say it's Modani. Is it time that they should be modifying it, and instead of Modani, they should be calling it something like Supreme Court Ani, because the Supreme Court essentially has spoken today, the topmost court of the country, and there is nothing above that. They lay the law of the land, and according to them, the SEBI is doing the right job. There is something that is amiss in what Hindenburg did, and the Supreme Court has said that even the Hindenburg report should be investigated by agencies if there is a violation of law. What more could the court have said by way of clarity? Mr. Sheetal P. Singh.
Oh, yes.
I think some audio should.
It took some time because of the internet connection.
Are you getting me? My question was to you.
Some time because of the internet connection with me.
Sure.
I heard a part of your question, but not the complete question.
My question is, how is the Congress party continuing to stick to its position, and with some double standards, if I could add, despite the Supreme Court verdict today in the Adani case?
That is Congress to answer, but as I see from the verdict which has been delivered in the Supreme Court, it was related to the earlier order about the investigation by SEBI itself. And the court is of the view that the petitioners have not provided any extraordinary material by which the allegations about the functioning of the SEBI in this matter could draw the attention of Supreme Court. And Supreme Court find that the petitioners also failed to provide additional charges which they were labeling about the people who are particularly investigating this matter, that their interest, whether it falls in the purview of asking for a SIT or any other agency's inquiry by Supreme Court. Supreme Court find that there is they find that there is no case of such involvement of Supreme Court. So, okay, Supreme Court can have its view, and the political parties still can have other view, and even on judgments they can have their views. So Congress is there to answer why
political
and
party.
for what they want that this issue should be.
Sumant Raman, political party is absolutely entitled to a view, but then the view can't be different in Delhi.
On the SEBI part, Supreme Court.
The view can't be different in Hyderabad than the one in Delhi if the Congress party is same, Sumant Raman. Revant Reddy last heard, despite Asaduddin Owaisi calling him RSS Anna, happens to be a Congress party chief minister. And he is sitting with an Adani delegation, ironically on a day when the Supreme Court has come out with this verdict, Sumant Raman.
I want to make 3 or 4 very quick points. First of all, the Supreme Court is not clean chit given to anybody. It is basically to say that the SEBI is probing it. We don't need an independent outside session. That does not mean that there is no probe. We can close down. In fact, today they want more time for the application of the SEBI probe for. So let's be very clear. This is a external issue which has been sort of opined on. Second, Revant Reddy meeting members of the Adani Group, the charges are clearly specific. Whether it is in the OCRP report or whether it is in the Hindenburg report, all the charges that are getting made, they have very clearly and specifically given charges. This is not, people are involved in something X or Y. These are specific accounts, specific names which are linked to these accounts. Everything has been given. So that Revant Reddy should sort of stop associating himself with the entire group, or stop associating because of specific charges. Indian business group, which does not have charges unless there is some state or the other. So you will not pick any group. So then people basically states will have to say we won't have any industry in our state, which is not happening. Now, this specific charges have been made.
So obviously, if what is good for the goose should be good for the gander, right?
That's all.
If it is about growth, economy, jobs, development, etc. in Telangana, as it is about jobs, growth, development, etc. in Vizianjam port in Kerala, so it should be in Gujarat, so it should be in Mumbai. Why double standards?
This does not legitimize or justify the matter of which the Adani Group is accused of. That has to be investigated.
Are you suggesting, Sumant Raman, clearly, are you really suggesting that the Adani Group would get without any hanky-panky in a state like Telangana, where Congress rules, in a state like Kerala, where Communist Party rules, in a state like Bengal, where Mamata Banerjee rules, but would have to indulge in hanky-panky in a state like Gujarat, which is their home state where the BJP is in power? I mean, is that the logic?
Not at all. The point is, if there are charges against in their interactions with the Telangana government or with the Kerala government, let it be brought up into the public domain. Let that be investigated, and if there is something which is improper with the Congress government or with Communist government, by all means proceed against those people as the politicians.
I think Sumant Raman can't be admitted that the Congress party just does not understand, does not understand that its politics is not helping its cause. Can the Congress party really, or somebody can tell the Congress party that its politics is not helping its cause? For example, if they say Modi and Adani is Modani, then in that case, Revant Reddy and Adani becomes Redani. Then in that case, Pinarayi plus Adani becomes Pindani. Then in that case, Mamata Banerjee plus Adani becomes Bindani. Deshratan Nigam.
But I don't think that there is a personal relationship between any of these people.
Sumant, the question is to me.
All over social media of the private and so on.
Takeaways,
so I think
takeaways from the
let's not keep ourselves and say that
Adani has been given a clean chip.
Mr. Raman, let Deshandan Ragam speak. I have asked him. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. No, that is what I was saying, Abhishek. Each one has a different point of view. Is that question for me or is it for Mr. Nigam?
Mr. Adani. Second, the action that the government should take against Hindenburg for market manipulation and the fraud that has been committed, and the protection of Indian investors. These are three takeaways. And then, if you recall, Rajasthan also invited Adani's. Kerala, you've already pointed out. Telangana, you've pointed out. West Bengal also, Adanis are investing. And therefore, at this point of time, let us be very clear, this was a deep committed conspiracy where Mahua Moitra also got involved into it, where specific questions were asked. And therefore, today what you have to see is the deep-rooted NGOs which are working against India. OCCRP is a Soros-funded organization. Prashant Bhushan's links are also there. This, the government of India must investigate and ensure that the Hindenburg and their agent in India needs to be punished. That is what the real takeaway from this is. The fraud is committed by Hindenburg, which they committed in US also, where they are suffering a lot of prosecution and penalty as well. Similar thing should happen in India. The Supreme Court has clearly said so in its judgment that if they have done any wrong about short selling, making money out of, creating havoc in Indian stock market, they need to be punished because it is clearly a crime. Therefore, the key takeaways I am saying, the Supreme Court has made it very, very clear today that this is the path through this judgment that the government of India must take. If this is not only about Adani, tomorrow it could be an attack on the Reliance, it could be on Tata's, it could be on Mahindra's. So it could be anything. So we need to be very futuristic about such people and unearth this conspiracy and punish the people both in India and those who are also,
before I get in the expert economist comment from Mr. Kapoor, I want to go back to Sheetal Singh. Mr. Sheetal Singh, the point that Deshratan Nigam is making is something which some other political observers have also made, which is that there is a clique working in the Supreme Court, which almost hijacks every issue. From Pegasus to Rafale to, in this case, Adani-Hindenburg, same set of people, same set of petitioners, and there seems to be common linkages. It's not just about George Soros and OCCRP, which, by the way, the Supreme Court verdict bans today. It's about other set of people who are sort of trying to use legal process and hijack these issues and try to give them political spin. Mr. Singh, I think you have muted your audio. Can you unmute yourself?
Sorry, Samil. I was saying that even when BJP was in opposition, we know that most of the issues of those kind of issues which were of national relevance and which were opposing the dispensation then were raised by Mr. Jaitley and some good lawyers of our country which were associated with BJP or like that. So because Congress is in opposition and whosoever opposition parties, lawyers and others, you will find them in many of the cases where government is challenged. It's natural. I don't think I don't take it as a conspiracy or anything like that. It is their job to raise the questions of national relevance and wherein allegations of such nature as they are there, like siphoning of several hundred thousands of crores
the Supreme
of Indian
Court
money
is actually suggesting, right?
Many
the Supreme Court is actually suggesting that
other
there seems to be
places.
an element of violation of law. The Supreme Court is suggesting that. They are saying that not just SEBI, but even investigative agencies should look at the Hindenburg report from the prism of the possibility of violation of Indian law. Deshratan Nigam?
Yes, absolutely. There is a clear signal to the government that please take some action, deeply investigate it and unearth whatever the violations of the law are there. Because fraud has also been committed by manipulating the market. Then short selling and making profit out of it also. Therefore, there is a clear indication and direction to the government of India by Supreme Court. Please take action on Hindenburg.
Absolutely. And Mr. Yogesh Kapoor, you see, the Congress defense, even now, is about their fight against crony capitalism. Of course, Jairam Ramesh forgets the pictures of Revant Reddy and of Pinarayi Vijayan and of their own leader of opposition at the Vizian Jam port and the Congress party giving credit to their own leader at that time for getting the Vizian Jam port. But Mr. Yogesh Kapoor, is it really about crony capitalism? Is Adani's story not about India's overall march to progress? It's not just about one corporate group. It's about India's march to progress and some forces not liking it. And that's why these kind of stories off and on and targeting one group purely because the group happens to be from the home state of the Prime Minister, nothing else.
Right. First thing I would like to say about the Adani Group is that let's look at the fundamentals of this group that they are into. They are into ports, airports, mining business. Now, these are businesses which require strong fundamentals and which are based on your strong financials and the ability to, work in a manner that it can be seen very well by your financials. Now, the Hindenburg report had basically alleged two major issues, which is the stock market manipulation as well as the accounting fraud by the Adani Group. Now, once the Supreme Court has now clearly stated that this matter doesn't require any further investigation and that the findings of SEBI are competent and reliable enough, I think this issue is put to rest. Now, what I would certainly like is that this manner of putting up false narratives and then trying to build up on that should be clearly be seen not only by the courts but by the government also, that what kind of actions can be taken against those who put up false narratives to project the credibility of the wealth creators of this country in bad light, and henceforth the other aspects which is related to the foreign investment into our country, they directly get affected because of these, as well as the credibility of the institutions as well. So my point is that it's very important that the Supreme Court has already stated that the action needs to be taken by SEBI and government in Hindenburg, in case they are found to be in violation of the rules as such of short selling. So the point is that I think it's very important that this should come to a logical end in terms of civil and criminal liabilities being put against them.
Absolutely. Mr. Sumant Raman, some other parts of the Supreme Court verdict are telling, or in fact damning, if you will, about the motivations of the petitioners. So obviously, because it's a strong clique, the Supreme Court would not use strong words perhaps. But then this is, and Deshratan Nigam, you practice in the Supreme Court, you know whom we are talking about. Sumant Raman, let's look at the observation. This is the Supreme Court of the country saying, petitions that rely on unverified and unrelated material tend to be counterproductive. So I think there is a sort of wise counsel on the part of the Supreme Court to the petitioners. Please desist from basing your petitions on baseless material. Right? Then the Supreme Court says newspaper articles and OCCRP report is not conclusive proof to doubt a SEBI probe. The Congress party continues to doubt SEBI probe based on exactly the same content. A Financial Times report, OCCRP report, which the Supreme Court has already junked.
Good, Abhishek. I can only say it's amazing that the work of such a large body of investigative journalists from around the world, based on which several other countries have found it worthy of launching investigations, is deemed to be worthless by our Supreme Court. I guess we have to accept it, because you can't question the court. But I think that if if most of the world has found the investigations done by these groups, earlier, whether it was in the form of Panama Papers and so on. By the way, even in Panama Papers, what happened to the Indians whose names figured there? Nothing. So I think it's time that we sort of accept all of these, that we do not, if the court feels that that is not evidence, then maybe they should tell us what they believe. Not evidence. At least they feel it's not even worth information to start a detailed investigation or a criminal investigation. Good luck to them. That's all one can say. Very unfortunate, but that's the way it is. They are the ones who make the decision. They are the ones who write the judgment.
So we're very disheartened. Sumant Raman, why be so disheartened? I mean, it's Supreme Court of the country, for God's sake. In another matter, the Supreme Court might say, for example, on the Election Commission, that this act of the government is not right. Then you would be very happy about the Supreme Court. Just because it's not to your liking, you're shouting a little dejected. That's what it seems.
No. I'm just pointing out. I'm pointing out the number of countries that have taken these kind of reports by groups of investigative journalists and acted on them. And they include even countries like Pakistan. I mean, what the motivation would have been for people like in Pakistan to have acted against it? You remember the case against Nawaz Sharif. Much of it came from Panama Papers. So let's be very clear. Investigative journalists, especially consortia of investigative journalists, put in a lot of effort. They carry a lot of credibility in most civilized democratic countries. They don't carry much credibility in
Sumant
India.
Raman, there is almost a suggestion in your words that the topmost court of the country has lesser credibility than a bunch of possibly motivated journalists carrying out a hatchet job on behalf of somebody.
No. 1 minute. On behalf of who? So, this George Soros thing is being done to death. I think yesterday I was waiting for somebody to say that truckers had been paid by George Soros. So, it is becoming, you don't need any evidence. And all you can do is say, George Soros has done this, George Soros has done that. Farm agitation must be funded by George Soros. I mean, but it's fine. I think this is what the people of the country, or large sections of them, are willing to swallow. Good luck.
In any case, last word to Deshratan Nigam, quickly, Deshratan Nigam, 30 seconds. The court has said that the threshold for the transfer of investigation has not been reached or demonstrated to exist in this instance, and the SEBI can continue its job.
Yes, certainly, Abhishek. In fact, it has become a very convenient tool for the leftist and the so-called liberal journalists, paid journalists, I would say, where they, started doubting our own agencies, where they are doing, and these are autonomous agencies, constitutional creations through an act of the parliament. Now, if SEBI is not allowed to do its work, who will do the work? Supreme Court's job is not to investigate the matter. So, prima facie, they did not find anything wrong. They, in fact, doubted the integrity of the members of the expert committee itself. Now, after the verdict, they are doubting the integrity of the judges of the Supreme Court.
And Sumant Raman, that's the unfortunate part. And the fact that just because Sumant Raman is being a little graceful, he's only sounding dejected. But I have, for example, this tweet by Sabah Naqvi. If there is an issue to be fought for, please don't go to the Supreme Court. The knives are out for the Supreme Court already. And that's the most unfortunate part that this country has to face. The farmers who agitated knew that never sought court intervention but had mass agitation instead. This is a call for anarchy because you have not liked the Supreme Court verdict today. How long would the nation watch this and take this kind of takedown of our institutions by people like Sabah Naqvi is something we should be asking. On that note, Deshratan Nigam, Sumansi Raman, Sheetal P. Singh, and of course Yogesh Kapoor. Thank you so much for joining us. This conversation is going to continue. A short break. Trending burning question is on the other side.
मेरे भाई अरविंद कुमार की कुछ महीने पहले एक्सीडेंट में डेथ हो गई। उन्होंने पॉलिसी बाजार से टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस लिया हुआ था, जो अब भाभी के घर के खर्च और बच्चों की पढ़ाई में काम आएगा। पॉलिसी बाजार की टीम ने क्लेम दिलवाने में हमारी पूरी मदद की।
क्लेम के टाइम पे आपकी हेल्प के लिए हमेशा तैयार। पॉलिसी बाजार, 1 करोड़ का टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 470 रुपए महीने से शुरू।
QS&THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
फिल्म अनुकूल नीति, सिंगल विंडो सिस्टम, ऑनलाइन शूटिंग की अनुमति और सब्सिडी की सुविधा ने उत्तर प्रदेश को बनाया है देश का मोस्ट फिल्म फ्रेंडली स्टेट। 80 फिल्मों को सब्सिडी के तौर पर दिए गए हैं 44 करोड़ रुपए। विभिन्न स्थानों पर 450 से अधिक फिल्मों की हुई है शूटिंग। स्थानीय कलाकारों को मिला है अपना हुनर दिखाने का अवसर। माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी मानते हैं कि सकारात्मक फिल्में समाज को जागरूक बनाने का आधार हैं। इसी के अनुरूप माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी की पहल पर विश्व स्तरीय सुविधाओं से लैस इंटरनेशनल फिल्म सिटी की स्थापना की जा रही है। फिल्म स्टूडियो, होटल्स, मॉल्स, थीम पार्क, मिक्सिंग और रिकॉर्डिंग स्टूडियो जैसी सुविधाएं फिल्म उद्योग के माध्यम से आकर्षित करेंगी पूंजी निवेश। मोस्ट फिल्म फ्रेंडली स्टेट, नए भारत का नया उत्तर प्रदेश।
इस पल को मुमकिन करने के लिए आदित्य ने पहले से ही शुरुआत कर दी थी।
ये पल सच हुआ, ये पल आंखें कभी नम कर जाता, ये पल।
और म्यूचुअल फंड से शुरुआत करना जिम्मेदारी की निशानी है।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
मोदी सरकार की गारंटी, भारत होगा गरीबी मुक्त। 5 सालों में 13 करोड़ 50 लाख लोगों को गरीबी से बाहर निकाला। हमारा संकल्प, विकसित भारत।
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
भाई इतनी बड़ी टाइल,
इतनी बड़ी बड़ी हिट्स आप लोगों ने मुझे दी हैं। टाइल्स से बड़े होने चाहिए। सुमानी मैक्स टाइल्स, टाइलों का सबसे बड़ा भाई। सुमानी मैक्स टाइल्स, जमीन से जुड़े।
हमारे देश को आजाद हुए 76 साल हो गए, लेकिन कई चीजों में हमको अभी आजादी नहीं मिली। जैसे कि सरकारी दफ्तरों में दुश्वारियां, परेशानियां, बदइंतजामियां। हमारे शहीदों को इस बात की कतई चिंता नहीं थी कि देश को आजादी मिलेगी या ना, लेकिन उनको एक बात की चिंता थी कि आजादी के बाद देश कौन से हाथों में जाएगा, देश के हालात क्या होंगे। हमने आजादी की जंग इसलिए लड़ी थी ताकि हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियों की जिंदगी आसान हो सके, ना कि इसलिए कि वो जगह जगह पर सरकारी दफ्तरों में धक्के खाएं, परेशानियों का सामना करना पड़े। अगर जंग सबने इकट्ठे होकर लड़ी थी आजादी की, तो फिर सुख सहूलतें भी सबको इकट्ठी मिलनी चाहिए। हम तो शहीदों के पांव की मिट्टी के एक धूल के तिनके के बराबर भी नहीं है, लेकिन ये बसंती रंग की पग शहीदों के सपनों और इरादों की हमें याद दिलाती रहती है कि हमारे देश में आम लोगों के सिर्फ दिन रात नहीं, हालात बदलने चाहिए। चुनाव के समय हम लोगों के पास जा सकते हैं, तो चुनाव के बाद सरकार बनती है, तो सरकार बनने के बाद भी सरकारों को जनता के पास जाना चाहिए, ना कि जनता सरकारी दफ्तरों में खज्जल खुआर हो। यही आजादी के असली मायने हैं। शहीद आजम सरदार भगत सिंह जी के सपनों को साकार करने के लिए पंजाब सरकार ने फैसला किया है कि पंजाब के लोगों को अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर नहीं लगाने पड़ेंगे, बल्कि सरकारी दफ्तर खुद चल के लोगों के घर पर आएंगे।
अब सरकारी दफ्तरों के चक्कर काटने की जरूरत नहीं, बस डायल करें 1076 और सरकारी सुविधाएं अपने घर पर ही पाएं। पंजाब की भगवंत मान सरकार आपके द्वार।
trending burning question, powered by Reva University, Century Laminates, AMNS, Acco Insurance and Hyundai Samad.
Thank you for joining us on the trending burning question here on Republic TV. It's 8:30 p.m. and a subject that we've been debating all day long, not just on Republic Kannada but also on Republic TV, is of the kind of comments, actions that we are seeing around the Ram Mandir inauguration. For example, it's been a controversial week because you've had the Congress party or the Congress government in Karnataka pick up a car sevak after 31 years. Was that required? You can ask that question. And then today you have a very senior leader, someone who's been a parliamentarian for several terms, at least 4 terms, say that another Godhra-like incident is possible ahead of the Ram Mandir inauguration. And with all the kind of politics that we are seeing around January 22nd, the question is the Congress party or some in the Congress party, the INDI alliance, are they fear-mongering? Are they trying to create a controversy? What's the real intent when such comments are made? Take a look at the comment and then the debate.
Paranoia continues in the INDI bloc ahead of 2024 elections. Rahul's man spews anti-Hindu venom with a shocking Godhra analogy in Karnataka.
ಇದು ಧಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ಉನ್ಮಾದವನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಲ್ಲ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೀತಿಯ ಕಟ್ಟೆಚ್ಚರಗಳನ್ನು ಸಹ ವಹಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಗುಜರಾತಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೇ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ಸೇವಕರ ದಹನ ನಡೆದಿತ್ತು ಗೋಧ್ರಾದಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯ ಒಂದು ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯ ಅಹಿತಕರವಾದ ಘಟನೆ ನಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಅಯೋಧ್ಯೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೀತಿಯ ಬಂದೋಬಸ್ತನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಗೋಧ್ರಾನ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಜೊತೆ ಕೊಡಬಹುದು. ಕೆಲವು ಸಂಘಟನೆಗಳ ಪ್ರಮುಖರು ಕೆಲವು ರಾಜ್ಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರೇರೇಪಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಪ್ರಚೋದನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಬಹಿರಂಗವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಪ್ರಚೋದನಕಾರಿಯಾದ ಕೆಲಸಗಳಿಗೆ ಕುಮ್ಮಕ್ಕು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಬೇಕು. ಎಲ್ಲ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲೂ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಒಡಿಸ್ಸಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿದೆ 3 ದಿವಸದಲ್ಲಿ. ನೀವೇ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಇದ್ದರೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅದು ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಯ ಪದಾಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳನ್ನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತ ಕರೆದು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ ವಿಚಾರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದು ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Next, it is Karnataka Chief Minister's son who goes on an unchecked anti-Hindu rant.
ಅಂಬೇಡ್ಕರ್ ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶ ಏನಾದರೂ ಹಿಂದೂ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾದ ಅಪಾಯ ಈ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ನೆರೆ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಗಳನ್ನೇ ನೋಡಿ, ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಫ್ಘಾನಿಸ್ತಾನ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇರಾನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಧರ್ಮದ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರನ ಅವರು ಸ್ಥಾಪನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿಂದ, ಧರ್ಮದ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ನಡೆಸೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅವರು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಸರ್ವಾಧಿಕಾರಿತ್ವಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊರಡಬೇಕಾಯಿತು. ದೇಶ ವಿನಾಶ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಗೆ ಹೋಯಿತು. ಮತ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲಿನ ಜನರು ತಮ್ಮ ಹಕ್ಕುಗಳನ್ನು ಕಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಯಿತು. ಆದರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಆ ಜಾತ್ಯತೀತ ತತ್ವಕ್ಕೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯ ಅಪಾಯ ಈಗಿನ ಆಡಳಿತ ಪಕ್ಷದವರಾದಂತಹ ಬಿಜೆಪಿಯಿಂದ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಪಕ್ಷದ ಮಾತೃ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳಾದಂತಹ ಧಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳಾದಂತಹ RSS ಅವರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೂ ಉಂಟಾಗಿದೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ಮತ್ತೆ ದೇಶನ ಹಿಂದೂ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹೊರಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ನಾವು ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶ ಕೂಡ ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನ, ಅಫ್ಘಾನಿಸ್ತಾನಗಳಂಥ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಯಾವ ಪಕ್ಷ ಧರ್ಮದ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೋ ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಹುಷಾರಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು.
It is evident that the INDI bloc is terrified and just looking for a way to gain some brownie points.
Something has happened long back and everything has been settled. Even the court has given its verdict and everything has. Now just he want to create confusion in the minds of the people who are going to Ayodhya, saying that something may happen in the train. Again one more Godhra incident may happen, thereby creating a fear psychosis in the mind of the people across the country. It is quite unfair. It is a very dangerous statement and intolerable one.
As INDI bloc continues fear-mongering, the scales seem to be tipping in BJP's favor. Let's debate.
You got the call? All right, joining us on the debate this evening, Surabhi Hodigere, political analyst. She's live from Bengaluru. Yuvraj Pokarna, who's a political analyst, will be joining us live Rohan Somen Mitra, political analyst, joining us live from Kolkata, leans towards the Congress party, and Tanvi Purti is also a political analyst, once again leans towards the Congress party. I can see Yuvraj on screen, I can see Tanvi. We'll just get Rohan as well on the screen. All right, Tanvi, there is a leader, and he's not a small leader. He's a senior leader. He's very close to the Vadra Gandhi family, right? Hari Prasad. He's been a parliamentarian. When he says another Godhra is going to happen, I have proof. He says, I have proof, I have details. Now, what is stopping such a leader from sharing this proof, this evidence, this credible piece of information that he's picked up from God knows where with the agencies, for example, right?
Very good evening, Niranjan. And I completely concede to the point that these statements are extremely irresponsible and he should not have made it. However, there are two issues involved as to what is happening in Karnataka. With respect to the arrest and the entire politicization over an arrest, I think that's taking an issue too far. You know, I was on 5 months maternity break and I did not realize that over this time, BJP has replaced the constitutional courts of the country. 150 old cases are being tried, out of which 36 arrests have been made in the state of Karnataka. The person in question is accused of writing, which is a very serious offense. And last I checked in our penal codes, where the writing is defined, there is no exception for car sevaks. So I think we should allow law to take its own course.
No, and you said you were on a 5 month. You said you were on a break. You were on a month break, Tanvi. But what you should also have read up on is the fact that this is a 31-year-old case. 31-year-old case. So after 31 years, and by the way, just to brush up your memory about who was in government in the last 31 years, the Congress party was ruling here in Karnataka in the 90s. They were in government in 1999. They ruled in 2004. They ruled in 2018, and before that in 2013. And you see, they're in government now as well. So it took them 31 years, is it? Just a few days before Ram Mandir inauguration to realize that there is a certain 75-year-old auto driver and pick him up. Tanvi?
Niranjan, you know, the person in question over here did not answer to the summons of the court, and that is why he's been he was declared absconding, and that is why he's been arrested in the case. However, these are technical grounds which can be easily challenged in a court of law. Why are we not allowing court?
He was not absconding; he was driving his auto.
Why are we not allowing? Ironically, isn't this what BJP? Ironically, isn't this what BJP says when CBI and ED raid opposition leaders?
No, what are you saying? He was not absconding. First of all, he was not absconding. I think you got your facts wrong. He was at home. He was very much, present and alive and kicking and walking the streets of, his district and his town and village for the last 31 years. He didn't go anywhere. Right.
He did not
now, that's not the point.
Courts.
Point is, we are talking about this Godhra warning. Godhra warning. When a Godhra warning is made, Surabhi, is he trying to say that, because when Godhra happened, one of the investigations said that it was a 2,000-strong mob, mostly a Muslim mob, that targeted Sabarmati Express. That's one part of the investigation. That's the allegation.
Yeah.
Right? What is he trying to say?
No, absolutely something that should be concerning to everybody, that a senior leader in the Congress has made such a startling statement saying that Godhras may repeat. And he said that very specifically, that he has the proof. He has proof in hand. So there are multiple questions that arise over here. One is that why is it that this person who is right now, a council leader, why is he getting this intelligence? If, who is he connected to, who is he not? Second, what is the need to come in front of the media and do this fear mongering? Who is behind this fear mongering? I'll come to that as well. And the third question, why did he have to, it is the Karnataka government is under Congress at this point. Did he not have close friends in the party in the government who he could convey this information to? Forget that, he could have gone to the NIA. There is an open tip-off cell. So I don't understand how a Congress leader of such stature and from such experience can do this. The answer, Tanvi, and may I please come to this, the reason why this has become an issue, the reason why the BJP has been screaming on top of their heads that there is some amount of Hindu hatred is because on the same sort of few days, the Congress in Karnataka, particularly Siddaramaiah, who is known in Karnataka for his very, not atheist, but anti-theist views, refused to go into a temple. His son has said very startling statements that the Ram Mandira equates to
Hindu Rashtra.
Hindu Rashtra in India, which he's equated finally to Islamic nations and state Pakistan, Afghanistan. Third, that there has been this entire, kind of, why is the Ram Mandira being built? Why is there this hula hoop being made about it? Siddaramaiah has made multiple statements. And mind you, this is a party whose ex-minister, Mr. Anjaneya, here in Karnataka, had called Siddaramaiah itself as Lord Rama and said that Siddaramaiah is a Ram. Why do we need a Ram Mandir? So there, sort of this dissonance, dissonance against a revered deity here in India and Bharat, where the entire country is under celebration. Siddaramaiah and gang in Karnataka, the Congress government in Karnataka, is going on a different tangent and going after. You spoke about, the B.K. Hariprasad has to do some due diligence before giving out such statements. He is saying very clearly with intelligence and with fact, I have proof that something is going to happen in Karnataka, a Godra-like incident. What does that mean? Is there any sort of weightage to his words, or is he, this is a matter of security of people?
Yeah. Let me see if Rohan is through. Rohan, can you hear me? Checking if Rohan is through, or I can take that question to Yuvraj as well. Yuvraj, now, see, yes. If you don't want to attend the Ram Mandir inauguration, it's okay. It's fine. But to arrest car sevaks and now say that Godra is possible, right? What do you think is the intent? Is there an intent?
Yeah, am I through? Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you for having me with this.
I can hear you, Yuvraj. Go ahead.
For having me. First of all, I'm not taken aback by the official stance of the Congress party or leaders. I'm not sure why I'm even having debate in the first place. This is the DNA of the party that was spearheaded by once Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru, who said that he's an accidental Hindu. In the capacity of being the Prime Minister, the President of India, Rajendra Babu, attended the ceremony of Somnath Temple. This is the party who brought in the emergency. This is the party who brought the minority ministry and the minority commission. Why are you this debate? This is the party that brought in the communal violence bill. This is the party that has been Hindu and Muslim appeasement has been the sign for none of the party. You dig up the history, you exhume each and every bill, you take every stand. Once one leader called Sanatan Dharma Denki, another calls it virus. Mr. Khadge, Junior Khadge tells that Sanatan Dharma should be eradicated. It has been the sign for non. I'm not at all taken aback. This is the stand of the Congress, and this is Congress for you. Why are you having this debate? Why are we having this debate? And I'm completely in with Miss Tanya. Completely right.
Tanvi. Her name is Tanvi.
I'm so sorry. Tanvi is completely right. Because Congress has been a party which indulges in politics of badla, not badlav. When we are speaking of Karnataka, I remember the BJP brought in the anti-conversion law. The BJP brought in Savarkar and Dr. Kejriwal in the syllabus curriculum. And what did the Congress do? As and when the Congress came into power, within 7 working days, it changes which were brought in by BJP. So Congress has very slyly indulged in the politics of badla. And vendetta politics is the DNA of Congress. You just question what? Yeah, that's my limited submission for now.
Now, I want to ask Tanvi, see, now, Tanvi, this gentleman, this leader is a very senior Congress leader, by the way. He also says, like how Pulwama happened, similarly Godra will happen. Is he trying to say that that Pulwama was carried out by a party or by a country? Is he trying to say Pulwama was a political event? And similarly, Godra will be also a conspiracy, right? He's also, therefore, giving a clean sheet to Pakistan. which targeted India and our forces.
Niranjan, when you started this debate, I conceded to your fact that the statement made by the Congress leader is extremely irresponsible, and I completely condemn it in a single note. And I have said it and say it again. However, linking it to the arrest and protecting an accused, becoming politicizing the issue of a mere arrest, out of which 36 arrests have been made. Why don't you stand for other accused as well if you're so sure about them? I'm sorry, but I'm here, questioning that how the entire issue is being politicized just to target the opposition. Mr. Siddaramaiah recently said that Ram Temple, we welcome the inauguration of the Ram Temple. We completely welcome putting rest to all these statements made by other leaders.
No.
And secondly,
what he's saying in the front versus what's happening in the on the outside is that Siddaramaiah made these statements out of concessionary because he's been under fire. And the second thing about this person, the Hubballi arrest that you're talking about, he has been arrested on the charge after so many years. What were the police doing all these years? Why did they suddenly wake up? Don't say he was absconding. Everybody in Karnataka knows he was not. He was right there. He was literally in Hubballi, Dharwad. He's been around. Yes, of course, anybody who has who has not faced the law should be booked, arrested. There has to be proper investigation. This is the same government. This is the same government. Karnataka government.
Running a media trial. Why is BJP coming out?
Media trial. I'm not running a media trial. Definitely there needs to be investigation, but tell me what happened. Is this a failure of the police force?
Are you proud?
Is this a failure of Karnataka police?
That happened after the
I would like to ask you, is the Congress party going to take similar disciplinary action against B.K. Hariprasad, since they're so into law and order? Are they going to take disciplinary action against Mr. B.K. Hariprasad? Given the statement he has made. And mind you, Siddaramaiah, the Chief Minister, has come out and said that these are just hearsays. Don't spread such hearsays.
Yeah.
This is such a sensitive time.
Yeah.
The entire country is in a mood of celebration and hope.
Yeah, you can get, but can I just bring in Rohan, because poor guy has just joined us now. Rohan, it's 48. I have very little time. I want to take at least a comment from Rohan. Rohan, it appears that the Congress party is extremely uncomfortable with the Ram Mandir inauguration. I mean, I understand that, because you look at the history. 2007, they filed an affidavit saying that Ram is a fictional character. Ramayana, everything in the Ramayana was fictional, right? And this was in the Ram Setu case. You'll remember that Kapil Sibal was in the Congress party when in 2018 he tried to block the verdict, saying that Ram Mandir verdict should not come out before 2019. You look at history. In 1991, it was Narasimha Rao, and under his government, when they tried to say that, the Places of Worship Act and the status quo of any place of worship cannot be changed, it should remain like it was in 1947. And today, when you look at the arrest of a car sevak, invoking Godra, and then saying that we are becoming a Hindu Rashtra suddenly ahead of Ram Mandir inauguration, there is a sense of unease in the Congress party.
Niranjan, quickly, I just wanted to first and foremost say that, sorry, I couldn't join your debate earlier. My quick points here is that the Congress party has accepted the Supreme Court verdict, which clearly said that the Ram Mandir should come where it's supposed to come. And as far as I know, the sources are saying that Sonia Gandhi ji is going to be there. So now, if you're going to pick on Mr. B.K. Hariprasad's statement, he has said it in a very personal perspective. He's gone on record and said that this is my personal comment. Okay. In 2002, when the Godhra riots happened, there was, as the BJP very fondly says, a double-engine sarkar, where in the center there was a BJP government, and in the state of Gujarat there was a BJP government as well. It was a very unfortunate tragedy, and we've seen that a lot of people have been sentenced to penalized and sentenced by the honorable courts, including
which Mr. B.K. Prasad is saying that you can interpret, which I interpreted it, and what I understand from his comment is that he is talking about the security of the visitors who are visiting Ayodhya on the day of the 22nd. Even our Prime Minister has gone on record and said that...
No, but on what basis? Rohan, my question was on what basis? How can you make such a comment? See, he's trying to infer, he's trying to say that the car sevaks or Ram Bhakts will be killed, in a train or an incident like that. He's trying to say they will be killed, there will be riots. On what basis is he saying that? That's my question. And he's not a small leader, Rohan. Even you know that he's not a small leader. He's been a parliamentarian several times, right?
Yeah, let me answer.
You can't just dismiss such comments. You cannot.
So in December, the first week of December, we saw the parliament, which is supposed to be a guarded institution place in India. It was trespassed by people now who have been charged as terrorists and whose bail has been rejected by the Delhi High Court. These are people who had access and they got of the parliament because of a Karnataka MP Pratap Sinha. Where is the accountability of that till date? So if the parliament can be breached with canisters...
No, you're right in saying there was a parliamentary security breach. You're right in saying there was a security breach. Yes, there was. But you look at the background of these people, it was clearly planned. I don't know whether you've seen the background of it. It was planned. I don't know how you're raking up parliament security breach and then talking about Godhra in the same breath. It doesn't make sense.
Given that there's so many attacks happening against the country
in the same breath, I'm talking about that the security issues for any given point of view should be taken care of. And as an opposition, the opposition has every right to put pressure on the centre and the state government to make sure they maximize their security issues.
Hang on.
This is my interpretation.
Mr. B.K. Hari Prasad's statement is hearsay, is what you are declaring without thorough investigation, without any sort of
absolutely
weight to the fact that this person was a parliamentarian has made these allegations.
Hearsay? Did I say hearsay? If I know the word hearsay means, so if I was going to say hearsay, I'm going to say
you
hearsay
just said
clearly.
he said it. He just said it has been said not by you, it has been said by Sidramaiah. He has said it's hearsay.
The statement of the CM is that it's a hearsay, but he also says in the same breath that the country cannot become a Hindu Rashtra. There's an attempt to create India or to turn India into a Hindu Rashtra. I mean, why so uncomfortable? Yuvraj, why do you think such statements are coming in? Why do you think such actions are being taken? You've had an arrest. You've had this comment come in, Yuvraj.
I'm sorry, I'm being very retrospective, but I remember banning Bajrang Dal was one of the major planks of Congress. That I'm sure you must have covered. And going further retrospectively, Congress thought that the Babri Masjid incident took place under the stewardship of P.V. Narasimha Rao, and as they say, that is the history. Sir Narasimha Rao was very tightened by the party. Even his body was not to be taken at the party headquarters. So this is the DNA of Congress. And yes, I am Congress once again. I'm sorry, but this is Congress. I remember once a leader, Lavanya B. Jain, she tweeted, India has a Gaumutra. I mean, she was mocking the efforts made by the Indian scientists regarding the COVID vaccine. And yes, from Malyana to Hashimpura to Godhra, with regards to each and every riot, who was at the helm of affairs at the center? It was Congress. Who was at the helm of affairs when emergency took place? It was Congress. Who was at the center when 1984 Sikh riots took place? It was Congress. So, I mean, Congress people preaching us on riots.
No, let me ask. Yuvraj, let me ask a question to Tanvi. Tanvi, do you feel? Yeah, there are two very senior leaders. There's a chief minister and the chief minister's son, and this seems to be the new narrative that India will become Hindu Rashtra. India will become Hindu Rashtra. Why? I mean, you build a Ram Mandir, you inaugurate a Ram Mandir, you become a Hindu Rashtra. Who says that? What logic is that?
Making a cocktail of absurd statements made by different ministers will not help BJP right now, in polarizing this issue. Everybody here is welcoming the
Ma'am, he's
Ram
the chief
Mandir
minister. Weird cocktail.
This is a sorry state of Congress.
He's a chief minister. How are you calling it a weird cocktail? He's a chief minister. As a chief minister's son.
I can go on about calling out minorities and speaking.
Next, you will call Rahul Gandhi's statement also a weird statement, a stray statement.
So that means it's very clear that BJP is anti-minority.
A weird and a stray statement. Okay, last word.
Why do have double standards that way?
The entire country is in celebration mood, whereas the Congress party, which had at one point in time said that Ramayana in itself was not even real, had gone and filed an affidavit against the Ram Setu itself, is suddenly being pushed to say that, oh yes, we are also going to be happy about this mandir being constructed. So the entire country is in a mode of celebration, and this is something unbearable for Congress.
Yeah, I think these comments must stop. These actions must stop. If the Congress wants to be totally in sync with the rest of the country, it should celebrate. and join the celebrations on the 22nd of January. Rohan, running out of time, we'll speak again. Rohan, Tanvi, Yuvraj and Surbhi, thank you for joining us on the Trending Burning Question. The debate with Arnab coming up in just about 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Powered by Reva University, a social impact multidisciplinary university. Century Ply Club Prime, Raho Befikar. ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel, India बनाऊंगा मैं, बनेगा भारत.
हेलो बेटा.
मिस्टर विकास के साथ कौन है?
बस बेटा थोड़ी देर और. वो मिस्टर विकास की फाइल आप पॉलिसी बाजार. मैम आपका हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस क्लेम अप्रूव हो गया है. अब आप सर को घर ले जा सकती हैं.
क्लेम के टाइम पे हमेशा आपकी हेल्प को तैयार. पॉलिसी बाजार 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 390 रुपए महीने से शुरू.
QS&THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
मोदी सरकार की गारंटी, कोई नहीं रहेगा भूखा. हर महीने 80 करोड़ लोगों को मिल रहा है मुफ्त राशन. हमारा संकल्प विकसित भारत.
आपने सोमानी का नया रोल देखा? वही स्टाइल और रेंज सोमानी बाथवेयर में भी. सोमानी बाथवेयर.
गाड़ी लेने से पहले टाटा एस गोल्ड पेट्रोल CX का तेल यानी इसका इंजन देखा. ये इतना बढ़िया है कि 18 किलोमीटर प्रति लीटर तक का माइलेज तो हंसते हंसते दे जाएगा. अब तेल के दाम तो बराबर ही हैं, पर इस गाड़ी की कीमत है कम, इसलिए अब हर ट्रिप में खर्चा है कम और मुनाफा ज्यादा. तो अब सोचो समझो और टाटा एस गोल्ड पेट्रोल CX लो.
जहां यादगार होता है हर एक किस्सा. इको रिट्रीट ओडिशा.
कैंट से पानी होता है 100% प्योर.
कैंट आरओ प्योरिटी दिखाता भी है.
कैंट देता है सबसे शुद्ध पानी.
Whenever I had ice cream or cold water, I would experience a sharp shooting sensation. So I just kept ignoring it. Even my hot chai was giving me the same amount of discomfort. My dentist recommended Sensodyne. So now I can be completely carefree and sip my hot cup of tea. It really works.
टिप चाहिए? पैसा लगाना है? तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ. डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा और मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा. अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ. सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र.
Supreme Court refuses SIT probe in Adani-Hindenburg case. Supreme Court calls for probe into Hindenburg malafide. Lobby narrative completely crumbles. Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Brace yourselves for a revolutionary leap into the world of news with the Republic World app. We are not merely presenting a news app. We at Republic TV are ushering in a new era of digital news consumption. The Republic World mobile app has the essence of power of breaking news and the heartbeat of our impactful shows seamlessly